A chilly Sunday evening in the Derby City, but it does nothing to cool the excitement for an ACC rubber match on opening weekend of conference play. Number 13 Stanford and home-standing Louisville. We welcome you inside Ulmer Stadium alongside Carol Bruggeman. I'm Nate Gatter. So glad to have you with us. Carol, it might be the first weekend of the season, but nonetheless, these two teams might look back on this game in May and think about the importance of winning a Game 3.
Well, Game 3 is always exciting because there's no more surprises between these teams. And the more conference series you can win, it really sets you up for success for a deep postseason run.
Stanford got the win yesterday, but Louisville surprised some people Friday night winning the series opener. First ranked win in a couple of years, and they did it with some timely power hitting.
Yeah, Louisville's more known for their speed and short game, but it was the long ball on Friday night. Bree Despines gets it started in the 5th inning, and Cameron Luckadoo a blast to left field in the 6th inning. All home runs with 2 outs. It's been Louisville's offense and situational hitting, really clutch hitting, that has helped them light up the scoreboard this weekend.
9 for 13 with leadoff batters reaching base, and that 2-out hitting has been critical, something that Coach Holly April talked about as needing to be better with situational hitting, capitalizing on their opportunities. Both teams have taken their chances this weekend, Carol. Big offensive numbers on both sides.
Huge offensive numbers. That has been the story of this series, and the question mark for tonight with Game 3, which team can pitch, pitch at a high level, play defense at a high level, really slow down these offenses.
Mentioned the defense. 5 combined errors between these two teams in yesterday's game. Get a look at the Stanford starting lineup. Jade Berry, who homered on Friday. She's driven in 4 so far on the weekend, is in that number 2 spot. And Louisville will make a little change in the circle, going with Jaden Gose, who has not pitched yet in the series. Freshman from Goodrich, Michigan. And she'll feel right at home in 46-degree overcast conditions. First pitch strike in at 6:02 local time. Gose turning 19 years old today.
This is a big start for Gose. This is really the start. Hasn't pitched a lot at a high level of competition this season. Gets a big opportunity tonight.
And she's ahead 0-2 on Taryn Kern. Kern 2 for 7 in the series, both extra base hits. Homer on Friday, double yesterday. In fact, she has extra base hits in 3 games in a row, going back to last weekend when the Cardinals were at home.
Taryn Kern has been on a roll. She's almost been unstoppable, not only in this series, but really the first month of the season.
Swing and a miss. Jaden Gose announces herself. First batter she's faced this weekend, and she gets the strikeout of Kern.
Well, Gose is locked in early in this game. This is just pure heat, a little bit of a down ball action on the outside corner. Kern is late, and there's something to be said about seeing a pitcher for the first time in the series in Game 3. You're going to see high velocity, high energy, moves around a lot in the circle, really locked in, works all zones. She must use that off-speed pitch to keep the hitters off balance.
Lifted out to left field, playable in foul territory for Madison Pickens, and quickly 2 away in the Stanford first, and the fly out by Berry.
Gose really working the outer half of the plate against the left-handed batters of Stanford. And this one just has enough room in the ballpark. It's a windy evening here, Nate, at Ulmer Stadium, and that ball almost blew back out to foul, but so far having success. Gose is on that outer half of the plate.
So here's Addison Shepard, freshman on freshman. Shepard having a big series, having a big first month of collegiate softball. Over the outside corner, 0-2.
And you see Gose really work both sides of the plate. Got ahead on the inner half. That is her strength. She really has good command on both sides of the plate. Makes it very difficult as a hitter. You can't sit looking inside or looking outside, especially now with 2 strikes. You got to cover the whole plate.
Shepard just got a piece to stay alive.
Can't say enough about Shepherd, though. I mean, there's not many hitters, Nate, that can come in to a high-level program and not only crack the lineup, but be an everyday starter. And then, oh, by the way, hit in the 3 spot of the lineup, which is someone that's very trusted. You're going to get a lot of at-bats in that spot, a lot of RBI opportunities, and Shepherd has delivered so far this season.
Foul up third, still no balls and 2 strikes. Ghost coming right after these Stanford hitters.
Yeah, you know, you look at this, we said it a little bit earlier, how much offense has been in this series. And you get a feeling that the team that can get off the field, you know, just quickly, this really has an edge tonight. And Ghost has really set the tone here early on defense for the Cardinals. 3 batters faced, and she's gotten ahead of all 3.
And that's just her second ball in her first 10 pitches. Last pitched against Connecticut last Saturday. This is just the second outing of her very young career against a Power 4 opponent. The first one was mid-February at South Carolina when she faced 2 batters and both of them singled. She's faced 2 and retired both with a strikeout so far tonight. Shepherd fouls it away again, allowing this Cardinal dugout at least to see some pitches from Ghost.
You talk about the pitches from Ghost, what you're thinking when you're facing Ghost is she's got a lot of speed, a lot of power. Be on time, get out early. And she does not use her off-speed pitch very much. So even though she threw that off-speed pitch, it bounced to the plate. At least she's starting to use that pitch early in the game, give the hitters something else to think about from a timing perspective.
And you would think she doesn't have the mandate to go especially deep in this game, right? It's use everything, throw the kitchen sink, and get as far as you can, and then we'll figure it out from there.
Yeah, game 3, that is for sure. It is all hands on deck, especially when the hitters have seen the opposing pitchers multiple times. You want to keep a fresh arm in there.
That one came up a few feet short, and so Shepherd has worked it full. Ninth pitch of the at-bat coming. Shepherd to third, handled by Riley Janda, and Stanford goes in order against the freshman Jaden Ghost. 1-2-3 inning for Ghost in her first appearance of the weekend with a strikeout as well. She dispatches of the Cardinal in order in the top of the first. We welcome you here to Ulmer Stadium in Louisville alongside Carol Bruggeman, Nate Gatter with you. We have a rubber match of this 3-game series, Stanford and Louisville, and already we've seen a statement from Jaden Ghost, the freshman, getting her first action of the weekend. She goes 1-2-3 against this vaunted Stanford lineup.
And this is game 3 of the series, and game 3 is always exciting because it's all hands on deck and there's no more surprises, and it's so important to win the series. The more series you can win, it really sets you up for a deep postseason run.
Louisville got the opening win in this series back on Friday night, and they did it kind of in uncharacteristic fashion, Carol, with power.
Yeah, Louisville's usually known for their speed and short game. Not Friday night. It was the home run ball. Bree Despines with a home run in the 5th inning. Her teammate Cameron Luckadoo, a blast to left field in the 6th inning. And Louisville's offense, situational hitting, really clutch hitting in this series has allowed this team to light up the scoreboard all weekend.
And that's despite the fact they don't have a stolen base, which normally is their calling card, as you mentioned, but they have been getting leadoff batters on base, creating traffic on the base paths. Stanford's pitching staff, outside of Zoe Prosecco, has not had a lot of success this weekend against the Cardinals. They go to a freshman of their own, Anna Brewer, who has pitched in each of the first 2 games of this series. She got knocked around a little bit in her 2 innings in Game 2 yesterday.
Now, we've seen pitch by committee from both of these teams. 2 freshmen starting in the circle tonight. It's Brewer for Stanford, and you're going to see her really work her defense. She tries to do everything she can to keep that ball on the infield, roll a lot of ground balls.
Easton Lotus, Chelsea Mack, and Bree Despines scheduled for Louisville in this first inning. Despines not only the highest batting average on the team, but has not been retired yet this weekend. Brewer to Mack. First pitch low for a ball. Brewer allowed 4 runs, 2 earned over her 2 innings yesterday. Stanford came back from the substantial deficit to win it late. Had come from behind wins in each of the first 2 games of this series. 2-0 on the senior Easton Lotus, who is 2 for 7 in the series with a walk.
Louisville's offense is really built around speed and the short game. And so what does Stanford have to do? They have to adjust their infield. They have to adjust their defense. For Easton Lotus, they're going to be playing inside the baseline, trying to pick that ball up, ground ball up early enough to beat the speed. And you're going to see that throughout the Louisville lineup. Lots of shifts, lots of adjustments for the infield. And that's exactly what Louisville wants. They want the infield to feel like they have to rush, that they have busy minds, have to make a lot of decisions.
Rolled to second base and handled for the first out by Addison Shepard. Gives us a chance to zero in on Anna Brewer and what she needs to do to be successful this evening.
Well, if that result happens for Anna Brewer all evening, that means she is on her game. She's going to be working the bottom half of the zone. You're going to see a lot of drop ball, change-up combination, works both sides of the plate, really looking to feed the defense, also can mix her speeds.
Jessica Allister, Stanford's head coach, is out meeting with our home plate umpire Alex Leap already after just 1 batter. And of course, this is something that we see a lot from Stanford for a variety of reasons. In this instance, it's because Chelsea Mack is coming up and the Cardinal go to 5 on the infield.
Yeah, it's the shift. There is no right fielder, and that is by design. Chelsea Mack does not have an extra base hit on the season. She is a short game specialist, will bunt, will slap, and so Stanford says, okay, we're gonna put 5 infielders out there, and every shift starts with a pitcher. You've got to trust your pitcher to locate the ball. You will not see a ball on the inner half of the plate. You're gonna see the ball outside, or the outer half of the plate, really trying to feed that shift, try to have Chelsea Mack hit the ball to the left side.
Mack is 2 for 7 in the series, pair of singles. Did strike out once, just the second time she has struck out all season.
Well, it looks to me, you know, Chelsea Mack usually has a lot of footwork in the box. She's trying to drop a bunt down, trying to slap. It looks to me like she is standing up and standing in and looking to take some hacks here, Nate, which is something she typically does not do, is swing away.
Bounce toward the middle, handled beautifully by Shepard, but Mack is safe because Economides, who is over at first base, didn't get her foot on the bag, and Jessica Allister's out to have another conversation here. The umpires are discussing.
Well, that's exactly what Chelsea Mack does. She says, okay, I'm gonna swing away. And it fed right into the defense, but look where Economides is. That is a big mistake from the first baseman of Stanford. She just does not find the bag in time. As a matter of fact, she's on the double first base, not even on the white base, but didn't find either one of them. And so that is a huge mistake. Could have been to 2 outs with a speedster off the bases. Instead, for Louisville, that is a huge gift because they have their best base stealer, one of the top 5 base stealers in the country, on first base.
It is March 1st, so maybe some folks are just turning the calendar over to softball season. Carol, could you walk us through that green safety base and why that wasn't enough?
Yeah, double first base this season. That is a new rule. And it is really meant for the offense. Any ground ball in the infield, it's meant for the offense so that to avoid collisions at first base. But once the base runner, touches that, in here at Louisville, it's green. It can be any color other than white. Then that base disappears. You act like it doesn't even happen on the field.
1 ball, 1 strike on Bree Despines, who is 3 for 3 with a homer, 3 RBIs in the series. She's also been walked 4 times and been hit by a pitch. By the way, the official scoring gave Chelsea Mack a base hit. It's a shame for Stanford because schematically that's exactly what the Cardinal were trying to induce, is put the 5th infielder on the dirt and make a play.
And force Chelsea Mack to do something she doesn't usually do, which is swing away.
Mack Mack on the move. Throw down not in time. And Mack has the first steal for Louisville the entire series. You wouldn't have expected Carol to have to wait until Sunday to say that.
No, they're one of the top base stealing teams in the nation. Come in at 12th. And here, Mack just gets a jump. The throw is offline anyway. She would have beat it even on the timing throw. And this is vintage Louisville. Get on with some sort of short game. The ball hasn't left the infield yet. Get a runner in scoring position.
Despany's retired for the first time in the series, but she still moves Mack up to third. And that's the identity of this program offensively. Holly April talked about it with us. They want to get runners on, get them over, get them in.
To quote Coach April, we want to be annoying, and they certainly are if you're playing against them, because you don't see a lot of balls hit out of the infield. Every now and then, we saw on Friday night, a couple home runs, but they are known for being a very aggressive base running team. They're not afraid to use their short game through the lineup. They're going to take the extra base, and it's worked very well for them this season.
Mentioned the home runs Friday night. Cameron Luckadoo had one of them. Her only hit in the series, though she's added 3 walks. Bounce to short, taken by River Mailer, and she beats Luckadoo to end the inning. Louisville leaves Mack at third. We're scoreless after 1 in the Derby City. It is chilly this evening in Louisville, 45 degrees, but that might be just a little bit dramatic.
That is what I call being prepared, 100% prepared. I do agree. We got the hand warmers and everything. It was 60 degrees here 2 days ago. I think 50 degrees yesterday, but tonight it is a little chilly, and that wind is blowing pretty hard from center field as well.
Jaden Ghost back to the circle for Louisville after a 1-2-3 top of the first inning with a strikeout. Kira Chan takes a strike, and that's 4 batters, 4 first pitch strikes for the freshman Ghost. One and one. First action of the weekend for Ghost, and it seems like the wrinkle from Holly April of going to an arm that Stanford hasn't seen is paying dividends early.
Louisville has a very deep pitching staff this year. That's something you have not been able to say about Louisville over the last few years, and it's just been very productive for him. There's no one pitcher that's had to carry the load, and you know, they're learning middle relief roles, they're learning save roles, starter roles, as Ghost is getting an opportunity here today. The freshman, her first real action against high-level competition.
Faced a couple of batters against South Carolina the day before Valentine's Day, gave up 2 singles. She hadn't recorded an out against Power 4 opposition before tonight. But you see the depth that Louisville has. Ghost isn't even on the graphic, and she's giving them quality pitches early. Goes off speed on 3-1, and it misses upstairs, so Chan is the first base runner for Stanford.
Good discipline from Chan. You know, Chan is just so impactful. She's hit in various parts of the lineup for Stanford, but what makes her such a tough hitter, and we just saw it there, she draws the walk. She's one of the toughest to strike out in the country. There's just no pitcher that can overmatch her, and she draws the walk there in her first at-bat.
Ball 1 to River Mailer. Got the freshman Ghost making her ACC debut. Meanwhile, Mailer in the box in her 199th career start for Stanford tonight. Second team All-American a year ago. Hit .429, 5th leading hitter in the ACC. Been a little bit of a slow offensive start for her with a 2-0 count, timeout. And Louisville will have a mound meeting, but Mailer just trying to hit the ball somewhere defenders aren't right now.
Well, it's a little odd to see Mailer not in the 2 spot of the batting order. We saw that for the first time yesterday with Jade Berry. Jade Berry's in that 2 spot as well, but you can see what type of player there. An NFCA second-team All-American a season ago. She has been a mainstay at shortstop for Stanford. And this is a Stanford team that has gone deep into the postseason throughout River Mailer's career. So not only has she had success in the regular season, but she's been able to be one of the main players as the shortstop and hitting in the top of the lineup for the Cardinal for quite a while.
Not only are Mailer and Jones both back, spoiled down the left side out of play, But last year, Stanford had 7 All-ACC players. That would be spectacular no matter what, to have 7 All-Conference kids. All 7 of them are back this year.
And that's the type of schedule that head coach Jess Allister created around that, knowing she had a lot of veterans, knowing the expectation is to make that deep postseason run, want to challenge them.
Barehanded beautifully by Despines, but foul. So it's 2-2 now on Mailer. Jessica Allister now in her 9th season back at her alma mater. Won her 300th game as Stanford's head coach Sunday against Santa Clara.
Just can't say enough about what she has done at her alma mater, at Stanford. I mean, this is a team, you know, you've got to tie your shoes a little tighter when you play Stanford. Going to be a very disciplined team, and it all starts at the top with Coach Allister.
Over the 3 seasons before Allister came back, Stanford had a 4-68 record in the conference. Allister took the Cardinal to a regional in year 2, a super in year 5. Mailer to short. Louisville tries to turn it. There's one. Mailer beats it at first. Fielder's choice goes 6-4 in the book from Monroe to Lotus. 1 away.
Mailer not getting a very offensive or aggressive swing on this pitch. It's a low and outside pitch, and it almost looks like she went to her slap game a little bit. Didn't take a full swing, and it went right to Monroe at shortstop for the easy exchange to get the lead out.
Here's Joey Economides, and she takes low for a ball. Though there's something to be said for Louisville executing the exchange, even if it was easy. The Cardinals have had too many of those routine plays get away from them early this year.
Well, that is for sure. That if there is an Achilles heel of this Louisville team, I mean, they sit at 13-4 on the season. Really strong start to the season. They knocked off Stanford on Friday night, ranked 13th in the country, but it has been their defensive miscues, particularly in the infield.
Second most errors in the ACC. Mentioned these two teams combined for 5 errors in yesterday's game.
And a lot of those errors have come with throwing errors on the infield. So you mentioned it a little earlier, Nate. So important. Even those balls that look routine, there's really nothing routine about a ground ball. But, you know, if you usually can make that play or consistently can make that play, you really need to make that play. And that's what that last out was there with the Mailer fielder's choice.
Changeup is a ball. The throw down. Mailer is saved. Monroe can't believe the call. She thought Louisville got her, and Holly April is out of the Cardinals dugout already. Indeed, she will challenge. You're going to be able to see at home what our umpiring crew of Alex Leap, Jim Cooper, and Robert Bird will see. Call on the field is that Mailer is safe at second base and into scoring position with 1 out.
Well, we're used to seeing Louisville steal a lot of bases. Stanford doesn't really steal a lot of bases. This is a different strategy. Again, welcome to game 3 of a series. You're going to have the unexpected. It's a good slide by Mailer. The throw actually leads Monroe right into the tag, but you can see the tag is on the back side of River Mailer. What an outstanding slide, really a hook slide where she's hooking that back leg. That front leg goes around. She's hooking that leg around the base to get around the tag. Really a savvy slide by River Mailer.
We'll see if they have a look conclusive enough. It looks to me she might get her on the foot there. Certainly, I think she gets her on that bottom foot underneath the body, the right foot, before the left foot makes it to the bag.
And that's what they're taking a good look at. And that throw just led right into the slide.
After review, the call on the field is changed.
So Mailer is caught stealing. 2-6 in the book. Despines to Monroe. And now 2 down, nobody on, with a full count on Economides.
And remember this year, again, we talked about the double first base being a new rule. New rule this year, each coach has 2 video review challenges. That is not new. But what is new is if you go out and challenge and it's reversed, you get it back. So Holly April still has 2.
powerfully down the line, but fading foul.
She still has 2 video review challenges, so she earned that one back, so to speak.
And I know in 2026, in the era of short attention spans, we all want to be cognizant of pace of play and time of game and that sort of thing. But it does seem intuitive that if you get a challenge right, you shouldn't be penalized.
Yeah, there's nobody, everybody out here, our umpires, the teams, the coaches, we just want to get the call right. And so if, you know, again, everybody's human, so you're not going to make every single call. That's why video review exists, and you shouldn't also be punished if something is missed. So I think it's a great rule change so far this season. Real positive reviews from everyone involved.
A walk for Economides. So she's aboard with 2 outs. Second walk of the inning issued by Goes. And a foul ball off the foot of Sydney Bolifin in the box.
Tell you what, that never feels good when a ball goes right into your shin or right into your foot, but when it's 45 degrees, it, you know, stings a little bit more. Nate, that's something Bolifin wants back.
At the knees, 0-2.
Been impressed with Ghost so far in her ability. She does have 2 walks in this inning, but she has been working from ahead. She hasn't been able to finish the deal this inning as much, but she has really set a good tone, set herself up for success in every at-bat.
Bolifin rolls over it to Lotus at second, and another 0 on the board for the freshman Jaden Ghost. We head to the home half of the second, 0-0 in Louisville. The Ally ACC Women's Basketball Tournament begins Wednesday, March 4th. And ACC Network will have all first and second round games, as well as 2 of the quarterfinal matchups. Our first round coverage begins at 11 a.m. Eastern, with the Nothing But Net crew providing pre and post game shows throughout the tournament. Nate Gatter, Carol Bruggeman back with you in Louisville. We head to the home half of the second inning. Number 13 Stanford and the homestanding Louisville Cardinals still scoreless. Anna Brewer back to work against 5, 6, and 7 for Louisville. Taylor Monroe takes ball 1. The Cardinals got a runner to third in the person of Chelsea Mack in the first inning, but left her there. Monroe has been aboard 5 times in the series. A couple of hits and 3 walks.
We talked about it with Ghost last inning, and now getting a chance to see Brewer. These are both freshman pitchers. It's their first conference series of their career. They're getting the start here tonight. They have really worked from ahead. I mean, and that, you just set yourself up for success as a pitcher. When you work from ahead, you can use a little more of your pitches. You can stretch the zone a little more, try to get the hitter to swing at more of a pitcher's pitch, something maybe off the plate. That's not easy to do, and it just shows you the mindset of these 2 young pitchers we have in the circle here tonight.
Outside and full on Monroe, who's upped her average considerably so far this year. Hit .248 as a true freshman season ago. Started 50 games at shortstop. Up over 300 in the first month of 2026. To third, stabbed on the move by Jade Berry. Nice play on the hot corner, 1 away.
A lot of people think defense starts with throwing and catching, and it really starts with your feet. Take a look at the movement from Jade Berry. No wasted motion. She's not going backwards, forward. She takes a sidestep, a hard, aggressive sidestep, and times her reach perfectly, is able to finish the play. It's good footwork over there from Jade Berry.
Ball 1 inside to Madison Pickens. Younger part of the lineup for Louisville. 3 sophomores in this inning. Monroe, Pickens, and then Riley Janda on deck. Something we talked about with Coach April. Sort of a watershed on the roster. There's some very experienced kids at the top, part of that core of seniors. but then some folks down toward the bottom of the lineup who don't have a ton of experience yet.
And there's just no substitute for experience. It's the one thing you can't hurry up. You just can't.
Contract extension a couple of weeks ago for Holly April, now in year 8. Pickens is hit by the pitch. Ran inside, got her on the front knee. Anna Brewer is saying she didn't make a whole lot of effort to get out of the way, but Pickens down to first base with 1 out.
Well, Pickens is on the plate, and that's what Jess Allister's talking about. I mean, there doesn't have to be a big attempt to get out of the way. You own the box, but watch that front foot. Is that in the box? No, it's out of the box. And so I think Jess Allister has a good argument there should she want to continue that. But you see where that she is stepping. She's actually out of the box and almost even leans into the plate. So a little bit of a gift there for Madison Pickens.
She's aboard for Riley Janda. It's remarkable what a great eye Coach Allister has for that, even from over on the first base dugout with a left-handed batter in the box. Because we saw it yesterday, Chelsea Mack got called for having a foot out of the box too close to the plate on what otherwise would have been a base hit for Louisville. Both left-handed batters. You'd think that would be really difficult for Coach Allister to see from over there, but she's got an eagle eye on both of them. Once she got the call, and tonight not so much.
Well, and you're really relying on your catcher. Jess Allister was a catcher, a very successful catcher at Stanford during her time, and you're really relying on your catcher as well. What did you see? Of course, you ask any pitcher, they're going to think everybody was in the box, but for sure you're relying on your catcher and your pitcher for that information.
Strike 3 called on Janda. So 2 gone. Good frame by Kakatian behind the plate. Mentioned Allister, a catcher. She's got 3 pitchers on her staff as well. So a lot of battery experience for Stanford's coaching staff.
This is a who's who of successful players who are now coaching. I mean, all Americans on that list. And, it's so much fun to have. If you're Jess Allister and you have that type of pitching staff, there you get a look at Danielle O'Toole. They call her Thule Trejo. She's the primary pitching coach. You have Jolene Henderson, who was an All-American at Cal. I think one of the best change-ups really in the country. We got Sarah Gronewagen sitting next to us here in the side booth. She's also works with the pitchers and really the whole team. But when you've got pitchers who can throw that type of batting practice to your players and you're still facing that high-level pitching, it just makes your hitters even that much better.
Ava Venturelli couldn't hold up. It's 2 balls and a strike on the junior from Massachusetts. A couple of hits and 4 batted in over the weekend.
Just good down movement right now from Anna Brewer. Just snapping the pitch off. Her timing is good. Her rhythm is good. She's pitching with a really good tempo. But it's that movement. It's falling off, dropping down in the zone late. A lot of swings and misses.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Brewer. One looking, one swinging. 2 freshmen, Gose and Brewer, putting up matching zeros early. Weren't exactly sure what we were going to see from these 2 freshman arms early in a rubber match. They've both delivered so far.
This series, the first 2 games of the series have been all about offense. Double-digit runs, double-digit hits, double-digit RBIs. Not tonight. We've got Anna Brewer and Jaden Gose really exchanging, just being very impactful in the circle. They've worked from ahead. They've controlled the hitters. And so far, if you're the pitching coaches for both sides, you're probably thinking, let's see if we can get these freshmen one time through the lineup. Well, that's about to happen here for Jaden Gose.
Strike 1 to Izzy Kakatian. Freshman out of Torrance, California. Making her 8th start. 0 for 3 in the series with a walk. Kakatian, the number 19 recruit in the country out of South Torrance High School, where she also lettered in flag football. She was the quarterback as a junior.
You might notice Jaden Ghost really gets a workout. She needs to have a Fitbit or something on. She gets a lot of activity, but that puts her in the zone. You think about Jordy Fromm from Nebraska does very similar thing. Just you have to pitch to your personality and get yourself in the right state of mind and keep your body loose. And for Jaden Ghost, that means not just getting going and turning around, taking a deep breath, coming back. Everybody has their rhythm and their routine. And for Jaden Ghost, it's very active type of recovery in between each pitch.
Popped up by Kakatian, playable in foul ground, and taken for the first out by Luckadoo. Second time in 3 innings, Ghost has retired the first Cardinal hitter she's faced. Emily Jones comes up. What a luxury for Stanford having a returning All-American batting in the number 9 spot.
Emily Jones has just been so consistent throughout her career. She's really a secondary leadoff batter, and a lot of times you say that about the 9 batter, but she truly is, because of her ability to use the short game, swing away.
Twisting down the left field line, long run, Pickens. It's off the tip of her glove and foul. Nearly stole a second out for Jaden Ghost in the circle.
Emily Jones is so tough to defend because she can drop a bunt or she can hit the extra base hit. What an effort from Pickens out there. Just a full out effort. Just needed one more half step and she would have been there, but she left her feet, timed it well, fully extended. Just a great effort.
Got a grass stain for her trouble. 1-1. There is the bunt, and it's tipped foul for a strike.
And that's what Jones can do as a triple threat. You get the defense thinking. You force them into a busy mind. Do I play up? Do I defend the bunt? Do I play back? And so the infield's got to play a little tighter against Jones. The outfield has to play straight up because of her ability to really use the field, which has made her such a difficult player to defend because she can get on base in so many ways. And when she does, she's one of Stanford's best base stealers, best base runners.
0 for 5 this weekend. Through the 3-4 hole, a base hit for Jones. First Stanford hit tonight. And she is aboard with 1 out. We get to see that speed on the base paths.
Well, any ball hit through the 3-4 hole, always a difficult decision for the defenders. And you could see Luckadoo really, guessing, should I go for the ball, should I not? This is the first year Luckadoo has played at first base. She's done a solid job for the Cardinals. But that was a seeing eye single there for Emily Jones.
Top of the order, Taryn Kern. First time through the lineup, goes through 6 first pitch strikes to 9 batters. Stanford was 1 for 7 against her with a couple of walks and a strikeout. There has been action in the Cardinals bullpen. Kern drives it to center. Well hit to the fence. It is off the wall. Jones waited to see it drop. She gets only as far as third. It's a double for Taryn Kern. Her 4th straight game with an extra base hit, and Stanford has 2 in scoring position with 1 out.
Taryn Kern could not have hit this ball more solid. She gets elevation on the ball, goes down to get it. It was a no-doubter off the bat, but the wind is blowing in very strong from center field, and it just holds the ball up enough. Very tall fence here at Louisville, keeps it in the ballpark. It really caught everyone off guard. Taryn Jones, Coach Allister, Emily Jones a little bit.
This is Tuesday night's ACC Network men's basketball doubleheader at 7 Eastern. Chester Ritter and number 11 Virginia host Duke Harris and Wake Forest. Then Michael Brown, Ryan Conwell, and Louisville host Syracuse here in the Derby City. Like everything else, both games are available on the ESPN app. The umpires were together for a brief discussion while I was telling you about our Tuesday basketball action. They're back to their spots. Everything seems in order. Now Griffin Joyner associate head coach for the Cardinals, is out of the dugout, and she does not seem pleased with whatever has transpired since that double off the wall. We're going to get one more look at that drive out to center from Kern. We've talked about temperatures in the mid-40s here, Carol. If it were in the mid-60s like it was yesterday, this ball might have carried out of the park.
Well, and the wind is blowing straight in from center field. It clearly stays in the park. And a nice play off the wall there. Not really sure what the umpires were talking about there. Might have just been, you know, checking count, checking something simple, but this is an important moment here for Stanford. Big opportunity to get on the board here early in this game.
Ball one to Jade Berry, who flied out in foul ground to left field her first time, but is 4 out of 10 in the series. Had a home run Friday. She's driven in 4. Has 2 in scoring position here. Popped up left side. Pickens is there. Tagged by Jones. Pickens bobbles, and Jones holds it third. Now, Jones would have had the right to take off running as soon as Pickens touched the ball. She can't bobble it and run into the infield, preventing Jones from tagging up, but I think Jones was holding no matter what.
Good pitch here from Gose as she gets Jade Berry to chase a pitch slightly outside of the zone, and Pickens is able to hang on to it. The ball is not deep enough to try and advance. That is a huge out to get to 2 outs for Gose and the Cardinal defense.
That allows the infield to back up against Addison Shepard. Are you surprised at all that Louisville has left Gose in there to face the top of the order a second time, even with 2 in scoring position now?
Well, I would say the only hard-hit ball we've seen off Gose tonight was Taryn Kern off the wall. So they're giving the freshman an opportunity here to keep battling and keep working out of it. I think she's done a really nice job. She's used both parts of the zone. She has mixed her off speed in a little bit. It's not necessarily been for a strike, but it gives the hitters something else to think about from a timing standpoint. We talked about it earlier. There's no substitute for experience, and you've got to work through these situations. It's going to be a huge boost of confidence. She can work out of it. She's going to have to do it against one of Stanford's best hitters.
Pretty cool for Addison Shepard to be on a team, as we mentioned, that has 7 returning All-ACC selections, and be talked about as one of Stanford's best hitters, and deservedly so in the first month of her career. 2-1. Wave and a miss. Shepard might have chased ball 3 there.
That's a good adjustment from Gose. Yeah, as you mentioned, really threw it a little bit out of the strike zone and got Shepard to swing and miss, and that's the sign of a good pitch. There's a lot of great pitchers out there that don't throw a lot of strikes. They actually throw pitches that end up as balls, but they get a lot of swings and misses.
Foul down the left side. Gose has to be careful because Addison Shepard has the ability to change the game with one swing, as she did Friday night.
You take a look at that swing. The ball is elevated. She is ready, and she does not miss. She is on time, on plane. It was a big moment for Stanford in that game.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top softly foul. Shepard's first at bat, she grounded out to third. She's had a handful of foul balls that direction in her second at bat here. Of course, she saw a bunch of pitches in that first at bat as well. She had 9 of them. Outside, and it's full against Shepard. Second time in as many at bats. .55 pitches for Gose. 15 of them she's thrown against Shepard alone. The payoff. Shepard ropes it through the left side. Jones will score. Here comes another, and safe at the plate. A 2-run single for Shepard on the bobble by Pickens in left. It allows Kern to come around and score, and it's 2-0 Stanford in the third.
Addison Shepard is a very savvy hitter for a freshman. Fouls pitches off, finally gets one she can drive, takes it to left field. There's some hesitation. If you look at Jess Allister, she is sending the base runner after the bobble. Very fortunate that they were able to score that second run. It ends up being very close. Wouldn't have been close had Taryn Kern continued to go right away, but there was a hesitation. She actually stopped and restarted. What a great slide, going to the back half of the base, recognizing where the ball was coming from. And talk about a freshman stepping up in the moment for her team. We've seen that all season long for Addison Shepard.
5th hit of the weekend, 3rd and 4th RBIs for Addison Shepard, and that will chase the freshman Jaden Goes for the ball game with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. And Kira Chan, Stanford's cleanup hitter, waiting on deck. Anna Wise, the sophomore, is on. She's been one of a couple of Cardinals hurlers, along with Alyssa Zabala, warming up in the early innings of this game, and she'll be the first one out of the pen.
Yeah, Anna Wise, just a veteran, even though she's a sophomore, pitched a lot in her freshman year, has pitched quite a bit this season for Louisville, has come in a variety of situations. She's been a starter, she's been a reliever, very familiar with this role. Change of pace here for Louisville with a righty-lefty switch, and you're going to see a very crafty type pitcher in Anna Wise.
Considering especially, Carol, that Stanford lost the opener in this series, what a big hit from Addison Shepard, trying to make sure that the Cardinal protect themselves and get at least 2 out of 3 in this series, keep themselves moving forward.
And when you ask Jess Allister about Addison Shepard, why has she been able to just hit the ground running as a freshman? And she says, this is a confident young lady. She just carries confidence, exudes confidence, believes in herself, knows how to work, keeps battling, and we saw that exactly all come to fruition in that at-bat. Just saw a ton of pitches, fouled things off until she got one she could drive, and she made it pay off for her team. A clutch hit with 2 outs.
Anna Wise takes over in the circle now with Louisville trailing by a couple. 4 good innings on Friday. Chan loops it into left, a base hit. Wave around third for Shepard. She will score. Kira Chan moves up to second base on the overthrow. An RBI single for Chan, an alert base running to take the extra 60 feet. It's 3-0 Stanford.
Well, Chan doesn't waste any time here. Takes the first offering she sees. It's a little elevated in the zone, is able to take it the other way. But it's her base running that gets her into scoring position. Takes a wide turn at first base. There's nobody at first base to help defend that. So when the throw is off, she can easily get to second base. That's a good heads-up base running from Chan. You know, a lot of hitters will be satisfied with their single. They feel good about hitting that run in, and they're going to kind of hug the base. Not Kira Chan. She rounded it hard and was able to get to second base because of that.
Pulled toward first. Diving play by Luckadoo. She dives once and then twice to beat Mailer at the bag. What a play by the converted first baseman Luckadoo to stop the bleeding, but Stanford puts up 3 in the 3rd. We'll talk to Jessica Allister on the other side. Stanford with a 3-0 lead to the bottom of the 3rd in Louisville, and we're joined by head coach Jessica Allister of the Cardinal. Coach, what have you seen from Anna Brewer so far in putting up a couple of zeros?
Oh, I think she's doing great out there. I think she's pitching aggressively. I think she's challenging him in the zone. She's mixing speeds and spots. She's doing great.
Coach, no hits through the first 2 innings, 4 hits there in that 3rd inning, got you 3 runs. What adjustments did you like from your offense in that last inning?
Well, I think we got back to the top of the order and got people some more at bats. But, you know, I thought Emily Jones did a great job turning the order over there. And then, you know, we got a lot of barrels, so that was great.
Coach, thanks a lot for the time. Stay warm.
Thank you.
Jessica Allister and the Cardinal with a 3-0 lead after 2.5. Though, Carol, during the break, you said something I think quite apt, which is that a few runs make it feel a little warmer, huh?
Hey, I've fortunately coached in a lot of games throughout my career, and coached in a lot of colder games as well. So, yeah, it just warms you up a little bit, just kind of like drinking a little hot chocolate when you get some runs on the board. It just feels a little better.
Ball one to Jordan Williams leading off for Louisville in this bottom of the third inning, looking for an answer. Top of the order will follow her, Easton Lotus and Chelsea Mack. Is there a particular game that stands out as just the coldest that you ever coached in, where it gives you nightmares to think about it?
Well, my good friends Kate and Carol Drohan at Northwestern University are not going to like this answer, but I have to say, playing at Northwestern sometimes in the month of March, with the, it's called the Windy City for a reason, right off the lake. There's just been some really cold games up there, but they're not the only place. I mean, look, here we are. It was 60 degrees here yesterday in Louisville, and tonight it's 40 something. So you never know, but a couple of those stand out, that's for sure. Little longer showers at the end of those games just to thaw out a little bit.
Chopped to second, taken by Shepard, one away. Lest anybody doubt, we do have photo evidence of Carol Bruggeman during her coaching days with the Cardinals. A little warmer in that photo, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe those are the Northwestern games and you were just toughing it out.
As my dear friends would know, I am not a tough it out kind of person in the cold. I would have a lot of sleeves on, but yeah, a lot of great memories here at Louisville and a lot of successful teams. I was able to be a part of this program, very decorated program, and it was just so much fun.
Quick second out on another ground ball this second, this time off the bat of Lotus, and Stanford again will make some moves here defensively to bring a fifth infielder in against Chelsea Mack, which, to be fair, worked perfectly back in the first inning, but Economides just had her foot on the wrong bag over at first base, and that allowed Mack to reach with what is still Louisville's only hit tonight.
Yeah, and this is a shift from Stanford. They have a lot of confidence in their shift. They're saying, look at this hitter. She is fast. I would call Chelsea Mack a burner. Like, she runs at elite speed. So, but she has no extra base hits on the year. So they're going to pull one of the outfielders in, put 5 infielders out, really challenge Chelsea Mack to hit the ball out of the infield. We have not seen her do that yet this season, have a successful extra base hit. So they're really playing the odds. It's called a shift. Now, every shift starts with a pitcher. If you have a pitcher who throws the ball high and inside right here, Chelsea Mack hits it to right field, she can walk and do cartwheels to home. So it's got to start with the pitcher. Pitcher has to hit their spots. You see now Brewers hitting the outer half of the plate, really trying to feed into that shift. I like what Chelsea Mack is doing to try and counterattack this today. She's actually standing in there and swinging away. This is not typical for Chelsea Mack. She usually is going to bunt, slap. And in her last at-bat, she did the same thing. She did hit a ground ball, as you mentioned, Nate. Economides just couldn't find the base over there at first base, but it still worked. The shift still worked.
4-pitch walk to Mack, who's on for the second time in as many plate appearances this evening.
Well, and oddly, with all the at-bats that Chelsea Mack gets, she really doesn't walk a whole lot. I believe that's just her 4th walk on the season, Nate, and that's exactly what Louisville wants. They want their fastest runner on base any way she can, a walk, a hit, an error, whatever it takes. She's one of the best base stealers in the nation.
Swing and a miss by Bree Despines, and if there's ever a 2-out walk you don't want, it's the hitter in front of Despines, who has considerable power even on a Louisville team that doesn't have nearly as much power as Stanford does.
Well, and this is the hitter you have to be careful with if you're Stanford. Bree Despines has true power. Take a look at that batting average, the RBI. I mean, this is the hitter that you circle.
Lifted into left field. Bolafin back for it. And that is the 3rd inning. We move to the 4th. 3-0 Stanford. Look at brand new Stanford softball stadium out there on the farm. They've expanded capacity to over 1,300 seats, $50 million, the renovation, and this just looks spectacular. In fact, so good, I think there might need to be an NFCA site visit coming up, Carol Brueggemann. You need to put boots on the ground and go check that out for us.
I would love to. I had the pleasure of doing a super regional out there before the renovation. Still Stanford's campus just gorgeous, but when you take a look at their new state-of-the-art stadium, just says a lot about Stanford and their commitment to softball, to women's athletics. Says a lot about our sport, that we have universities investing in our sport, and to be quite honest, the demand for tickets during the regular season, postseason, it's off the charts. So it's so much fun to see a facility like that built out on the West Coast. Has to be so much fun for Jess Allister. That is her home as a player and now as the head coach, and just an exciting time for softball and an exciting time for Stanford and all of their fans to be able to enjoy that atmosphere.
Pitch low for a ball to Joey Economides. Be followed by Bolifin and Kakatian, 6, 7, and 8 for Stanford in the fourth after putting up 3 runs in the third. All charged to the Louisville starter Jaden Gose. Anna Wise in there now after she finished out the third.
Well, the biggest adjustment here for the Stanford hitters is just the velocity. I mean, Gose throws high velocity. It's coming in mid-60s, and Anna Wise a little more crafty, probably throwing the ball in the low 60s. Has a lot more spin on the ball. She's going to, create her outs with her movement, her location.
Economides could not hold up. First base umpire Jim Cooper says she went around.
And Stanford in general likes to be in the back of the box. They like to be a little more on the plate, although there's a few hitters that adjust. But when you're facing a drop ball pitcher, you want to move up just a little bit more to give yourself a chance to hit the ball before it drops.
Couldn't hit it before it dropped that time. One away.
And this is Anna Wise's specialty. Look at her roll over the ball. It looks like it's coming in about mid-thigh, and it drops to below the knees. Excellent late break, late movement. A big swing there with 2 strikes from Economides. Not able to put the ball in play.
Ball 1 to Bolifin. What's the message then in the Stanford dugout when you're trying to adjust from that velocity of Gose to the movement and spin that Wise brings?
Seeing the ball long so you can be on time. You don't have to get out in front as much. And if I were Stanford, I would move up slightly in the box. We have not seen a pitch above the belt from Anna Wise yet, so there's no need to be concerned about a pitch that's going up in the zone yet. She does have that in her repertoire, and we can see that. So I'd be looking down in the zone, move up in the box. You can get a few more barrels on that pitch. But that is the big equalizer there, the off-speed pitch for Wise. But it also gives you a little more time if you're really thinking about seeing the ball long, really making sure you are patient in the box. There's a little adjustment there from Bolifin. She is up in the box slightly.
Puts it in play, hard hit to short. Monroe backs up, Monroe bobbles, and Bolifin beats it. If it's an error, it would be number 11 for Monroe already this season. She had only 7 all of last year.
Well, Monroe is playing deep, and this ball takes a lot of hops. She actually backs up on the play, which isn't the issue, it's the exchange. But because you're playing so deep, there is no room for error because of the long throw across the infield. And we've seen that a lot with the Louisville defense. A lot of miscues. Been their Achilles heel.
Beautifully at third. Louisville goes around the horn, gets just the 1 out. What a play at third base by Riley Janda.
Well, for a double play to happen or get the lead out, it's got to be quick. There's no need to get back up on your feet. Her momentum, just driving hard to the ball with her feet and that reach of the glove, her momentum just got her to the ground. And what a good athletic play to be able to throw from her knees. Perfect strike over there for the lead out.
Here's Emily Jones. Heard Jessica Allister mention it with us, that Jones was the catalyst to that 3-run third inning. 1 out single, and came in to score the first run of the evening for the Cardinal on the 2-run single by Addison Shepard. Poke foul down the left side, 0-2. Bolifin reaching base, by the way, did officially go as an E6. Error 11 this year for Monroe. But a nice play by Janda has put Louisville in position to get out of the inning unscathed. Janda again gets there to beat the speedy Jones and end the inning. We're halfway home in Louisville. It's a 3-0 Stanford lead. Holly April, the head coach of the Cards, will visit with us after this. 3-0 Stanford on top of Louisville as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning on this Sunday night. Joined by Holly April, the head coach of the Cardinals. Coach, what have you seen from Anna Wise coming out of your bullpen, kind of settling things down in the circle?
Yeah, that's what we brought her out there to do. So just want to see her hit her spots and work ahead in the counts, and that's what we're looking for.
Coach, a lot of offense in this series so far for Louisville in the first 2 games, but tonight, not on track yet. What would you like to see from your offense against Anna Brewer?
Yeah, well, I liked what Bree Despines did in her last at-bat. She got the ball elevated a little bit. I think we got to get on time a little bit better. We've been, like you're right, a little bit of a slow start with it, but we're going to get it. We're going to get it. So just got to get the ball elevated a little bit.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
All right, thank you.
3-0 Stanford, halfway through this one in Louisville tonight. Cardinals will send the heart of their lineup, 4, 5, and 6. Cameron Luckadoo, Taylor Monroe, and Madison Pickens to the plate against Anna Brewer, pitching for the 3rd time in as many games in this series. She was hit a little bit in her 2 innings starting yesterday in Game 2, but she has responded beautifully tonight.
Well, and Coach April said it just right. We need to elevate the ball more, and that sounds easier said than done against Anna Brewer tonight because that drop ball has got such good sharp break on it. That ball that Coach April was talking about from Bree Despines, that was actually the first ball hit out of the infield tonight through the first 3 innings, offensive innings for Louisville. And so again, adjustments for Louisville, a little bit of a up in the box type mentality. Because they've been on top of the ball all night. They want to catch that ball a little bit earlier.
Luckadoo grounded out to shortstop her first time. Second-year Cardinal, transfer from arch rival Kentucky, one of a couple of Wildcats transfers on this Louisville roster. Chelsea Mack the other. Started 20 games last year, hit a .190. She has stepped that up considerably this year. She had some bright spots last season, though, including game-winning single in a 14-inning victory over Notre Dame in March. Had the biggest hit for Louisville with a 3-run homer Friday night in their win to open the series. Pulls it to third, gobbled up by Barry, and Luckadoo is retired. 4 for 4 now. Brewer retiring leadoff batters for Louisville.
And you can't, it's picture perfect for Stanford. You've got a drop ball pitcher in the circle, also throws some off speed, and we have almost all ground ball outs, a few strikeouts mixed in there as well. But that's what you like to see from your pitcher. If their job is in the circle to keep the ball down in the zone, you like those miss hits. You like those hitters getting on top of the ball. And until Louisville makes that adjustment, they're not really barreling up the ball yet to get it elevated. There's no reason. I mean, Anna Brewer is getting more and more in a rhythm, more and more confident with every pitch.
Taylor Monroe, hard hit up the middle, a base hit. Just the second Cardinals knock, and their first since the first inning. Madison Pickens will bat with 1 on and 1 out. To your point, though, about Brewer creating the ground ball contact. Some of it has been hit pretty hard. Stanford's been very sure-handed on the infield, and you'd think that Jessica Allister must be thrilled with that, the way that the Cardinal have been inconsistent defensively themselves.
Especially when you're playing a team like Louisville. They have made a living this year on short game, base running, steals. They are trying to create chaos, to use Holly April's word. They are trying to be that annoying offensive team that just makes things happen by putting the ball in play. And Stanford, you're absolutely right, Nate. They have elevated their game tonight. So far, every ball that they've been asked to make a play on, they've been able to do that. Because if you don't do that against Louisville, that's when the merry-go-round begins, and you play right into their hands. They get the extra bases. They get more speed on base. They take another base. But you can quiet this offense by playing very solid defense. Starts in the circle, of course, making good pitches, but by playing solid defense.
Felt like we saw some of that on Friday night, too, that when the ball started to roll Louisville's way and the pressure started to mount on Stanford, Louisville has that great instinct, like great base running teams do, when the other team is on their heels, to push the advantage, push them harder, see if you can get them over the edge. Pickens fists it softly to second. Monroe goes all the way around Shepard and is forced out easily at second base.
Yeah, Shepard's thinking too here, maybe a tag, but Monroe has to go around. He could even jumped over the ball, but I think she was afraid of the contact there, and so easy out there for Addison Shepard, and really good concentration. It's easier said than done when you got a runner dancing around you in the front or behind you. It's not something that happens every day. And Shepard showing you again what a savvy freshman she is on defense.
So Pickens now the runner at first, 2 out. And Riley Janda, the batter, struck out looking her first time. One of a couple of punch outs for Brewer. They came back-to-back to finish the second inning. Check swing, and it's 2-1. Janda, the sophomore, in a dramatically bigger role this year. Pair of home runs in February, including one in the season opener against Stony Brook. 2-2. I want to go back to that fielder's choice play there, Carol, because that's just kind of a funky play. People don't normally see a runner bellying out around a defender like this. How would you have coached this play on the bases for Monroe?
Well, welcome to softball. A lot of funky things happen, as you know. She had 2 choices there, and she took the long detour. It would basically, she's going to be out at that point. The other option would have been to go in front of Shepard and try to beat the ball before it got there. But another strikeout for Anna Brewer, the freshman, feeling good tonight here in Louisville.
Stanford with a 3-0 lead as we move to the 5th inning in Louisville, Kentucky. Nate Gatter, Carol Bruggeman back with you. Kicking off the month of March with an ACC rubber match. Hannah Wise works to the top of the Stanford order. Ball 1 to Taryn Kern, who has struck out, doubled, and scored. Probably would have homered if it were a warmer or less windy night, let alone both. Hit the 220 sign just about out in dead center with that double.
We talked earlier about game 3 of a conference series, especially when it's 1-1, is always exciting. You really never know what's going to happen. This series has been so offensive. The amount of runs, hits, RBI could go on and on with how much offense was in these first 2 games. And this game has been much more about what's happening in the circle. The defense has played very solid overall, and it's been that timely hitting. I mean, Stanford's 3 runs were all scored on 2-out hits. So it's been really a clutch hitting night for Stanford, but the pitching and defense has kind of taken over in this game 3, and I don't think we would have expected that coming into the game tonight.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Kern. Really, the last couple of days have been clutch from Stanford, facing that considerable deficit at 7-3. Yesterday in game 2, they were staring down the barrel of losing their first series to open ACC play. after some rocky moments last weekend at home as well. Question marks were starting to emerge around a team that's had so much success. Kern pops one into right center. It is deep and it is gone. Denied by the center field fence in the 3rd inning. Not so in the 5th. Kern's 6th home run of the year, and it's 4-0 Stanford.
Well, if there's a more dialed-in hitter in the country, I'd like to see her right now, because Taryn Kern is on time, on plane, able to elevate this ball to another deep part of the park. And she has just been on fire lately. You know, when you're a hitter and you're seeing the ball well, it looks like a beach ball coming in. And Taryn Kern is the leader of this offense in the leadoff spot for a reason. Really sets the tone for Stanford, and no doubter there as Stanford increases their lead.
5 extra base hits in her last 4 games, including 3 homers. One ball, no strikes on Jade Berry. Fouls it off herself in the box. Berry's been up twice, and she has fouled out twice to Madison Pickens down the left field side.
Well, Jade Berry has typically hit in the 3, 4, 5 spot for Stanford throughout her very brief career. You know, just still a younger player in the system, but she moved up to the 2 spot yesterday, and she has stayed there, and she's earned that opportunity. A very consistent hitter for Stanford so far this season.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Jade's father, Perry, talked with associate head coach Jessica Merchant, and she talked about how Jade's a professional hitter, grew up around the game, and hard not to with a couple of professionals in the family.
You think they've spent a little time in the batting cages?
Probably a little bit.
Impressive.
Also, Perry Berry gets you a pretty good spot on the all-name team, I gotta say.
Agree.
2-2. Wave and a miss. Jade Berry way out in front of, as Carol Bruggeman called it, the great equalizer, the off-speed from Anna Wise.
And sometimes it's not where you locate the ball. This ball is right down Broadway. I mean, it is right down the middle of the plate, but it's the timing. There was 2 strikes on Jade Berry. She commits too early, has not seen that off-speed pitch in that at-bat. So it's the timing of that pitch from Anna Wise. She gets the strikeout.
Pitch down for a ball to Addison Shepard. Shepard has bounced out to third and singled in a pair. You know, one of the things that coaches say a lot when you get to the postseason, and you're as familiar with the postseason as anybody, is there are no freshmen anymore by the end of the season. It feels like Addison Shepard is already done being a freshman. We're only a month into her career, and she's already a trusted middle-of-the-order bat for one of the better programs in the country.
And plays second base. I think that's one of the most challenging positions to play on defense, because you have so many decisions to make at second base. You need all the skill set, fielding, the throwing, the working, the long throws from the relay and cut position, and being able to cover first. There's just a lot of decisions. Do I go to second? Do I go to first? You know, where am I communicating on a first, third? And so Addison Shepard, yes, offensively, super impressive. This is an experienced Stanford lineup, a lot of returners from last year, a very successful team last year. You mentioned that earlier. And here she is hitting in the heart of the order and also playing one of the most challenging, really thinking, cerebral positions out on defense.
To short, taken smoothly by Monroe. Luckadoo on the stretch, kept the bag to retire Shepard. Luckadoo, not a natural first baseman, but she made that look smooth to retire Shepard for the second out. Don't forget Tuesday night's ACC Network men's basketball doubleheader, 7 Eastern, Testa Ritter and 11th-ranked Virginia against Duke Harris at Wake Forest. Then Michael Brown, Ryan Conwell, and the Louisville Cardinals hosting Syracuse here in Louisville. Like everything else, both games also available on the ESPN app. Meanwhile, back on the field, there's a challenge from Stanford. The umpires are going to check and see if Luckadoo did indeed keep her foot on the bag.
Luckadoo keeps her right foot on the base, stretches to the ball, and we're taking a look to see if her cleat comes off the base when she caught the ball. Now, clearly it's off the base there, but we need to take a look at when the ball was in her glove, which is right now. Is there contact? Looks to me like her toe is still on the base from that angle. You mentioned it earlier. This is the first year Luckadoo has played first base. That's I mean, look at that stretch. She's worked very hard on reading when to stretch. You want to stretch to the ball, not the fielder. That's the first rule of thumb. She makes this look easy by timing her stretch. She goes about as far as she can go with trying to keep her toe on the base. And that's what the umpires are looking at. Is her toe on the corner of the base there, or did it come off when she caught the ball?
Alex Leap, our home plate umpire, will give us the call momentarily.
I didn't see anything to turn it over.
After review, the call on the field stands.
And indeed, the ruling stands, so Stanford is indeed charged its first challenge.
It's just an athletic play. That's not easy to do. You know, to time it, you're looking at your shortstop, Taylor Monroe, and then when the throw is off, you're going through that in your head very quickly. Can I still keep my foot on the base and still catch this ball and do it quickly? That was just a very, very athletic play by Luckadoo, who's playing her first year at first base.
Kira Chan takes high for a ball. She has walked and driven in a run with a single. 3 out of 8 now in the series. Senior out of San Diego, who had a really fantastic season a year ago. Kind of gets lost in what was a 2025 of one fantastic season after another up and down the Stanford lineup card. But she had 398, 10 homers against only 10 strikeouts all year in 171 at-bats, and had a 20-game hitting streak in the middle of the year as well.
Yeah, she was in the top 10 in the country last year and toughest to strike out, and that's just personally one of my favorite stats, you know, for a hitter. It just means whatever pitcher you're going to face, right-handed, left-handed, rise ball pitcher, drop ball pitcher, off-speed pitcher, you find a way to battle, and you just have a mentality that you're going to fight to get on base.
Hard hit to right, but run down to end the inning by Jordan Williams. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Taryn Kern adds on for Stanford. It's 4-0 Cardinal. Let's take a look at tonight's Good Hands Plays, brought to you by Allstate. An offensive series early on the first couple of games, but Carol, we've seen some great pitching, some great defense tonight.
Yeah, tonight it has been all about the defense. Every play Stanford's been able to ask to be made, they've been able to make it, and Louisville says, I can do that too. Good athletic play over there at first base by Luckadoo. And that's really been the difference. The score has been the home run from Taryn Kern, but other than that, some 2-out clutch hitting from Stanford. The defense has stepped up here in Game 3 of this series.
First pitch strike to Katie Thatcher, pitch hitting for Ava Venturelli in the number 8 spot. She'll be followed by Jordan Williams, and then the top of the order, Easton Lotus, with Louisville trying to get some offense going. 4 base runners in 4 innings. Pair of singles, a hit batsman, and a walk. They have not had a runner get past second base since Chelsea Mack got to 3rd in the first inning. Bree Despinese and Cameron Luckadoo, the 3 and 4 hitters, grounded out and ended that threat. Since then, it's been all Stanford. Thatcher getting her second chance in the series, struck out in her only prior at bat. First series between these two teams in their respective histories. Did not play last season in Stanford's first in the ACC. Met just once prior with Carol Bruggeman in the Louisville dugout back in February 2008.
That didn't go very well.
I wasn't going to say it. 2-2 on Thatcher. Probably a day that you've mostly blocked out.
Yeah, pretty much. Credit to Stanford there, obviously out at the Fullerton tournament. Yeah, it's one of those that you just put out of your mind quickly.
Thatcher hit in the helmet. Thankfully, seems to be okay. First time tonight, Stanford has allowed a leadoff Louisville base runner.
Yeah, not the pitch that Anna Brewer wants to throw. Really the first pitch that's gotten away from her this evening. It just hangs on to it too long, and glad to see Katie Thatcher's okay.
Thatcher stays in the game at first base, and the number 9 batter, Jordan Williams, now grounded out to second base, her only prior at bat. 3-4 hole, it is through. Thatcher holds at second. First time all night the Cardinals have 2 on at the same time.
Well, this is exactly where Louisville wants to be. The bottom part of the order gets on base. They've turned it over here now for the top of the order. And this is the part of the order for Louisville that can really do damage because of their combination of good bat control. They're able to put the ball in play and sheer speed.
And Jessica Allister is going to counter with the ace in her deck. Zoe Bristico out of the Stanford bullpen to take over in the circle for Anna Brewer.
Well, we knew it was probably a matter of time tonight before we saw Bristico. She has clearly emerged as the ace of this staff this season. The sophomore making such improvements from a year ago where she really just threw the ball hard in the circle and was able to create some outs. And now she's really expanded her game this season. Really worked on her game all summer long, and she has really taken it to the next level. You take a look at it there, the 70 strikeouts, that's good for top 10 in the country currently. And just has that elite spin on the ball, which you're going to take a look at right here, and you're going to see the full range of her repertoire. Take a look at this rise ball spin. It jumps late, which causes a lot of swings and misses. Complements that with a curveball on the inner half to lefties, and then, can also throw an off-speed pitch for a strike on any count. That's what makes her so difficult to beat, is her ability to stretch the zone, really loves to work that upper half of the zone. That elite spin causes a lot of swings and misses, and she can complement that with an off-speed pitch to throw off the hitter's timing.
Bristico has thrown in both games of this series and got the save in game 2 yesterday. She was hit around a little bit. Louisville did get to her after a dominant start on Friday. Not so much with 5 strikeouts in 3 one-run innings yesterday. Although one thing to keep an eye on, especially with 2 Cardinals on base here, is Bristico threw 3 wild pitches in 3 innings yesterday and has 9 of them this season. 1-0 to Easton Lotus. Inside, and it gets away to the backstop. 2 in scoring position for Louisville.
Bristico had some control issues in this series. She did get the win, did get the save so far, but there has been quite a few walks in between for Bristico, and Louisville has an opportunity to get right back in this game.
Chelsea Mack represents the potential tying run on deck. Lotus has a pair of groundouts to Addison Shepard at second base. Lifted to short, right at Mailer, 1 away, and Bristico will very much take that one.
Exactly what you wanted there if you're Stanford. The great equalizer to an offensive player with speed is a fly ball. I mean, the worst 3 words you want to hear in that situation is, I got it. It means it was a fly ball to the infield, and what you want from your relief pitcher coming in, get that first quick out.
So now it's Mack. Ripped to second base, caught in a line by Shepard. Maybe the hardest hit ball for Louisville tonight, but it's right at Stanford's freshman second baseman.
Well, Chelsea Mack has seen the shift the majority of her at-bats, and she has stood in to hit tonight, something we do not see a lot. She's really a short game specialist, and she hit that right on the screws, but it has the Adams. Fortunately, if you're Stanford.
So now Bree Despines with 2 outs. And Presteico on the verge of wiggling out of it. Despines has grounded out to second and flied out to left. And Danielle O'Toole-Trejo is on her way to the circle, Stanford's pitching coach. Here's next weekend's featured softball game of the ACC Network. Georgia Tech and Clemson finish up their 3-game series next Sunday at McWhorter Stadium. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Great start for a deep ACC this year. 5 teams in the top 25, including Stanford, though not including Clemson. The team picked second in the league's preseason poll between Florida State and Stanford. Tigers have been tripped up early. Despines takes a strike, 1-1.
Well, no surprise we saw that timeout in the circle. This is the hitter for Louisville that has that type of power. She can hit it consistently, gap to gap, over the fence. And with a base open here, I expect Presteico to be very careful. Try to get Despines to swing at something out of the zone, get her to be a little aggressive. And that's a great strategy, but yesterday all Despines did was walk 4 times. So she has a good eye, but I think a little bit of that was intentional, unintentional as well.
Caught the knees, 2-2. Louisville is hitless, 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position tonight. Barely over 200 on the series. Leadoff hit by pitch. And then a single put Thatcher and Williams on and brought Presteico in. Full count.
If you notice, we have not seen that rise ball from Presteico. That is her bread and butter pitch, her best pitch. Not in this situation to Despines. Doesn't want to allow her to elevate the ball.
Despines drills it right center field. It is against the wall. 2 runs are in. Despines heads for third. The throw is offline. A 2-run triple for Bree Despines, and Louisville is back in the game.
Despines is very patient in this at-bat. We've seen her be patient all weekend long, works to a full count. This is a miss from Presteico. It is right over the middle of the plate. It is not a miss from Despines as she's able to elevate this ball to the wall and cut the lead in half for Louisville.
Strike into Cameron Luckadoo, who has already homered in this series. Big blow Friday night. She has grounded out to the left side twice tonight. She represents the potential tying run for Louisville. Off the plate, 2-1. Those 2 runs, of course, are charged to Brewer. Despines at third, the responsibility of Presteico. Back up the middle, a base hit, and the Cardinals trail by just 1. Back-to-back 2-out knocks. Despines and Luckadoo 3 runs on the board for Louisville.
That's clutch here from Luckadoo. Again, patient in the box, works the count in her favor. Pristaico too much over the plate right now. And credit to the Louisville Cardinals hitters. They are not missing. They are being patient. That ball is elevated in the zone. Another 2-out RBI from Luckadoo.
Ball 1 to Taylor Monroe. Carol, I don't know if it's Pristaico pitching for a 3rd straight game against these hitters or what, but that's 3 straight Cardinals who have hit the ball hard. Chelsea Mack made the 2nd out. She drilled the ball to second base. Stanford's fortunate. Had that ball found a gap, they might be behind right now.
Well, Pristaico falling behind. She's trying to use all her pitches right now, really develop that down ball over the summer, and we've seen her work a little bit of that in, but just cannot find the strike zone, and then she has to bring it in too much over the plate.
Elena Krause, the freshman, out in that bullpen for Stanford. Monroe has grounded out and singled. Just 2 hits the first 4 innings, 3 in this 5th inning, 2 of them with 2 outs. Monroe waves and misses, and Pristaico keeps Stanford on top, but the Cardinals scored 3 times with 2 outs and trailed by just 1. Chilly Sunday night in Louisville, Kentucky. Temperatures dipping into the low 40s as we finish out this one, but it's feeling warmer for Cards fans after they put up 3 in the bottom of the 5th inning to pull within 1. Carol, we mentioned it briefly during that 5th inning. 5 ACC teams in the top 25 as it stands. Doesn't even count Clemson. Just on the outside looking in and might well be back in there after wins over Georgia and Mississippi State this week. And Louisville goes to a new pitcher in the circle, Maddie Reeves.
And we've seen this from Louisville all season long, really showing their pitching depth. It's been pitched by committee. You've seen how get a good look there at the 2-0 record. And really, this is just a switch to give Stanford another look. This is game 3 of the series. There's no more surprises. You're just trying to throw off the timing of the hitters, not let them game plan too much. And with Maddie Reeves, a very different look than Anna Wise. Anna Wise just came out of the game more down in the zone. Maddie Reeves, you're going to see her work more up in the zone.
Mailer pops it up. Foul ground left side and out of play. A couple of Cardinals hurlers in Wise and Reeves who were rivals a year ago. Reeves pitched at Miami of Ohio. Anna Wise at Ohio University. Reeves was first team All-MAC pitcher. Wise was second team. And now teammates in Louisville. 1-2 to Mailer. Off speed, and she stays with it. Louisville not a team that hits the transfer portal all that hard. But Holly April talked about how easy it is to recruit some of those kids if you have relationships with them already that pre-exist. Maybe recruited them in high school, getting them second chance around. Just missed. 2-2.
Yeah, it's become part of the culture of college athletics and part of the culture of softball as well. And these 2 young ladies had some success at their previous schools and given an opportunity here at the ACC. And really, it's about depth. You know, there's a lot of programs across the country are looking for quality pitching depth. Gone are the days where you can have one pitcher who throws every game, game after game. And now it's all pitched by committee and looking at matchups and making sure you have a variety of pitchers that can do a variety of things.
Mailer off the bag, a fair ball. River Merrill hanging with it, and she gets a 2-out double. Mailer was fooled by the off speed, And she looks like she might have hurt herself going into second base. Oh, what a shame that would be. A great piece of hitting. But she went in hard to second base. And Jessica Allister's reaction is not a good one.
Well, you mentioned it. Got fooled by the off speed, but could keep her hands back. If you can keep your hands back as a hitter, that's a seeing eye double. Hits the bag. But unfortunately here, when Mailer came up from this slide, her wrist, you can see it got caught underneath the base. And they're taking a good look at that right now.
Rob Vetter is the athletic trainer for Stanford. And you hope that Mailer is okay. Even if she's not able to stay in this game, she is such a critical piece of this Stanford roster, trying to get herself on track offensively. Talked to associate head coach Jessica Merchant, and she said Mailer's been doing fine. It's just a question of not hitting the ball where the defenders are. This is the textbook example of things evening out over a season. And then after getting the lucky hit, Mailer very unlucky coming into second base.
Well, you could see she tries to have her fingers up. Anybody sliding in head first, you want those fingers up, and you take a look, even on that right hand, which does get injured, her fingers are up, but she puts them down a little bit early, and it gets pinched, stuck under the base. The momentum causes the injury, and it's just so unfortunate. River Mailer has been a mainstay at shortstop in the lineup day after day, year after year for Stanford, and
you can tell the pain she's fighting through, too, in the way she's been breathing it out. Well, Mr. Vetter works on that right hand.
Well, she hits from the left side. You need both hands to hit anyway, but she hits from the left side, but she throws from the right side, and they're going to take her out, at least for now, get a better look at that wrist, and just so unfortunate there for River Mailer.
So Mailer takes a seat, and hopefully she will be okay. Sophia Jin is the pinch runner, freshman out of Danville, California. Sees plenty of time. She's part of that nearly constant rotation of outfielders for Stanford. Pitches down for a ball to Economides. Who has walked and struck out. To third, awkward hop, and everybody's going to be safe, including Jin moving up because nobody was covering third base. Janda couldn't handle it at third, and then instead of letting Monroe, the shortstop, come get it, she left third base vacant.
We've seen a lot of good base running tonight from both teams, and the ball just kicks away from Janda. She just sits on the ball, does not move her feet. On any ball, you want to move your feet just a little bit. She waits for the ball. It eats her up, and that takes her away from the base. Good base running from Jen to recognize that. There's nobody there. She could walk over to be 60 feet closer to scoring the next run for Stanford.
Jordana King checks in to pinch run at first. So a pair of speedy pinch runners on the bases for Stanford. Sydney Bolifin is the batter. Stanford looking for an immediate response after the 3 Louisville runs in the bottom of the 5th. Cardinals got some hope. Stanford trying to extinguish it just as quickly as it arrived. Bolifin has a ground out and has reached on an error. Corks it to right, but right at Williams, who makes the catch. Tagged by Jin. She comes home. King scrambles back to the bag safely. It's a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Bolifin. The Stanford lead is 2 runs once again.
One stat that's really fun to track throughout the course of a season is what do you do as an offense when the team, your opponent, just scored, you know, in that previous half inning. Can you answer quickly? Can you answer immediately? Take that momentum away from the team that just scored, and we've seen that here in the inning. with the leadoff double, and now the sac fly from Stanford, answering quickly to shift that momentum back to Stanford.
8th spot in the lineup, and Ava Gall will pinch hit in place of Izzy Kakatian. And strike one on Gall. Junior is 0 for 1 in the series with a couple of walks. Her action came yesterday. Had a red-hot opening weekend this year, has cooled off of late. She's behind 0-2, but Stanford thrilled to have her back on the field after she missed all but 14 games last year. Jessica Merchant, the associate head coach, told us her energy is contagious. Just has a lot of joy for the game, and they all love to be around it.
Yeah, Stanford has the rare pleasure of having Ava Gall and Kakatian, as we've seen, and they have a third catcher. They've had 3 catchers really in the lineup consistently, and that's pretty rare. You know, you'd see one everyday starter, and then you always want to give your starter the ability to rest a little bit throughout the course of the season, so you're going to have a secondary one. But Stanford really has 3 catchers that they can rotate in and out in the batting order, on defense. A nice luxury for Stanford.
Full count on Gall. Take some of the pressure off any of them, get a little banged up back there, take a game or 2 off without worrying quite so much. Gall fell behind 0-2, and then she watches 4 straight miss. That's a painful walk for Maddie Reeves.
Been a tough inning so far for Maddie Reeves. Just, you know, a couple hits, the walk hasn't really settled in yet in this relief role. Well, Jess Allister, I mean, you better, if you're in the dugout for Stanford, you better be ready to go, because Jeff Allister definitely uses the most of her roster, and whether it's a pinch hitting role, pinch running role, we see multiple defensive switches on defense, and just a very versatile team. You know, depending on who it is, they can play infield, they can play outfield. And so therefore it gives her lots of options both on offense and defense, and we have seen that a lot in this inning with another pinch runner.
Adriana Callahan coming on. We need to find a pen or pencil company or something to sponsor Jessica Allister and all the work she does on that lineup card. NIL deal for the coach. 2 on, 1 out. Here's Emily Jones. Off the end of the bat, shallow right, tricky play, taken well by Lotus. A tag, the throw to third, gets by. Louisville has it backed up just well enough, or do they? Play at the plate, and a run in for Stanford to make it 6-3. Lotus did well to make the catch, but Jordana King at second tagged up once, took a risk, and took another to get home.
Aggressive base running, making things happen. This is a shallow fly ball to right field. Easton Lotus is still moving toward right field, so this is a great decision to try and force the action. They don't come up with a play, hey, let's try it again. And Louisville's Achilles heel this season has been their defense, specifically throwing errors. We saw that again, not necessarily an error, but the ball, just not a well-thrown ball, well-executed play. Stanford now gets 2 runs back in this inning.
Is that a play where when the throw is coming in short like that to third base, you'd like to see Janda abandon the tag and just try to get in front of it and take one like a catcher, just keep it in front?
And that's a decision, you're absolutely right, that Janda has to make. Am I in a position to trust my glove, come up with that short hop, and still make the out? If the runner is getting behind you, you feel like they're going to be safe, absolutely you should abandon the play. But if you feel like you have a shot to make that pick, make that catch, and still make the play, then that's a big play. That would have been out of the inning for Louisville. But the ball does get away, and again, just good aggressive base running there. I mean, that was a fly ball to shallow right field. Second baseman actually caught it, and yet they scored a run just by forcing the defense to try and make a play.
Taryn Kern, the top of the order here, going to be intentionally walked. And why not, after she's doubled and homered her last 2 trips to the plate. Been on a power surge going back to the final game of last weekend.
She's just so disciplined in her approach, really trusts her approach, a very cerebral hitter, has a plan, sticks with her plan.
Pitch is high, it gets away. Here comes Callahan. She is saved. An intentional walk, wild pitch, and Stanford has answered Louisville's 3 runs. 7-3 Cardinal.
A lot of times when you're a base runner at third, you can relax a little bit. You know, it's an intentional walk. They're just going to throw 4 pitches. But this is why you pay attention and you are on your toes. Bree Despiney's still in an athletic position, but this one, she has no chance. She jumps up, gets full extension. It just gets off her glove, and that's just a missed pitch from Maddie Reeves. And these pinch runners for Stanford have done their job, really forcing the action and forcing the Louisville defense into some mistakes.
Down and away for a ball to Jade Berry. Funny thing, too, is officially in the scorebook in the end, Taryn Kern gets the superstar treatment of an intentional walk with the bases empty, because by the time the bases cleared, it was 3-0. Might as well put her on.
I still think that's a good decision. The way Taryn Kern is swinging the bat right now, I mean, and they're not singles. I mean, she is just crushing the ball, extra base hits, and yeah, you run the risk of that going over the fence.
High for ball 2 to Berry. In your coaching days, did you ever intentionally walk an opposing hitter with the bases empty?
I'd have to really think back to all of those games. Not one that comes to mind, but understandable, especially if it's a tie game, you know, and you've got a hitter like Kern coming up. I mean, I'm sure that there was in that situation. I'm not sure at the time. Well, it was 7-3 because the run scored before the intentional walk. In a 7-3 game, probably not.
Probably not. 3-1 pitch. Berry takes strike 2. The offense we were waiting for and talking about has arrived. Took a few innings. Pitch is very high. Might have clipped Berry on the way by. Either way, she's on for free. So 2 on, and Shepard will bat. Just takes the wind out of Louisville's sails, doesn't it? To get those 3 runs, get within 1, and immediately give them back.
Completely different mindset, completely different atmosphere for sure. They have a little bounce in their step coming out in the top of the 6th. They've narrowed the lead. They're within striking distance, within 1, and it has been a very difficult outing for Maddie Reeves. Just really not challenging pitches tonight. You know, they were not difficult decisions for Stanford, and that led to a couple walks and a couple hits, and couple that with the aggressive base running of Stanford, and they put 3 runs up with another runner in scoring position here in the top of the 6th. We're going to see a pitching change.
Alyssa Zabala getting ready for Louisville. Before we tell you about her, I want to remind you the Ally ACC Women's Basketball Tournament begins Wednesday, March 4th. And ACC Network will have all first and second round games, as well as 2 of the quarterfinal matchups. Our first round coverage begins at 11 a.m. Eastern with the Nothing But Net crew providing pre- and post-game shows throughout the tournament. 2 on, 2 out, 3 runs across for Stanford in this 6th inning. It's a 7-3 Cardinal lead. And Alyssa Zabala is on to pitch for the 3rd time in this series. Thought we might see her earlier in the game. In the end, Louisville has exhausted almost the entire pitching staff.
Well, a different role for Zabala this season. She has really carried this Louisville pitching staff over the last 2 years. She has been the ace of the staff, still is this year as well, but they've been able to save her arms, just shy of 30 innings pitched so far this season. But she is coming in this situation to try and stop the bleeding, shift the momentum, shut this inning down, give her offense a chance to come back in this game.
295 career strikeouts for Zabala in her 4th season at Louisville. 3rd team All-ACC back as a freshman. Been the ace throughout, over 450 career innings. Number 9 on the program's all-time list. Top 10 in appearances, starts, wins, saves, strikeouts. And off to her best statistical start of her career so far this year, maybe in part because she has been able to share the load a little bit more.
Hasn't always had to be the starter and always be the starter in back-to-back days or back-to-back-to-back days. She's been able to come in some relief roles and also earn some saves. Just a really different mentality. And this is a senior. This is a savvy senior, a veteran. There is no situation she has not been in. She is not phased by anything, and she has that good experience, and Louisville really needs her to step up in this situation.
1 ball, 1 strike on Addison Shepard, who is 1 for 3. Singled and scored in the 3rd inning. Knocked in 2 runs with that base hit. Broke the seal on the scoring. Off the end of the bat. Roller to Luckadoo, and the inning is over. But 3 runs for Stanford. They lead by 4 once again. Excellent sight for Stanford fans. Shortstop River Mailer back on the field after jamming her fingers on her right hand into second base on her double in the top of this inning. She has the 3rd and 4th fingers on her right hand taped together, but she is back out there, and that is great news after the pain she seemed to be in the top of this inning.
I mean, she still obviously is going to have a way to go to get back to full speed, but after watching this and seeing her reaction, and we initially thought it was a wrist, and the right wrist for a shortstop hitter, that's never good. Neither is hurting your fingers, but definitely a better option than the wrist. Good to see her back out there.
Nice work by Taryn Kern at first base to glove that hot shot from Madison Pickens for the first out. And if you remember when Jess Allister, the head coach of Stanford, walked out to second base to look at Mailer when she was down out there after her slide, she kind of looked to the dugout and made a little motion with her hand like she wasn't going to be able to continue in the game. So speaks to the toughness of Mailer, that even her head coach, who's plenty tough in her own right, wasn't certain that Mailer was going to be able to keep going.
Well, there's a lot of ways to show leadership. There's a lot of ways to show leadership, and River Mailer is just proof right there. I mean, you can tell it's bothering her. She's thinking about it and looking at it. Hopefully she'll be able to be back to 100% at some point, but for her to be back in this game, that says a lot about her, and it shows her teammates, hey, this is what it takes. We're all in this together, and if I can go, I'm going to go, and that's a huge sigh of relief, I know, for Coach Allister and the entire Stanford team.
Addie Odell pinch hitting. Checks her swing and takes ball 1. Odell getting her first chance in this series. She's only had 2 collegiate plate appearances so far. Last Saturday against Connecticut, struck out, got hit by a pitch. 3 balls and a strike.
And if you're Louisville, you're looking for that spark. I mean, we've seen them put up big numbers in this series pretty quickly. I mean, if they can get some base runners on and use that speed, they can create a lot of chaos. And here's a leadoff walk, and that's something Louisville's been able to do in this series quite a bit, is get that leadoff batter on. Not as much in this particular game, just one other time last inning when they did score 3 runs. But once you get that leadoff batter on, it's just a whole different inning for the defense. Now they already have a lot of pressure on.
So here's Thatcher. She takes high. Mentioned it during that 5th inning. Persico has had some control issues this weekend. Wild pitches, some walks. You would think that's tape that other ACC opponents are going to be inspecting carefully. And the message might be, if she's got this great strikeout stuff, let's make her prove she can put it in the zone.
There's no doubt. Being a great hitter starts with something very basic, swinging at strikes. You know, it sounds easy, but that's what pitchers are trying to do, be deceptive, make them look like strikes, but they're not. But you are right, Zoe Prostyko has struggled with her control in this particular series. She's come back nicely here against Thatcher, but sometimes you can try to be too fine and move the ball too much and stretch the zone a little too much, and you just got to trust your stuff.
Down the first base line, just foul.
And by trust your stuff, and you throw moving pitches moving through the zone and not try to nip at the corners, and especially when you're struggling with your control a little bit. And there we take a look at it last season as a freshman. She threw twice the innings. She's already, you know, we're not even a third away through the season, and she's at half of what she threw last year. But you take a look, same number of strikeouts, but less walks.
Lined off the end of the bat into center. And 2 on for Louisville with 1 out. Nice piece of hitting by Thatcher, who kept that bat in the hitting zone a long time.
Yeah, and another rally going, and Odell not the leadoff batter. There was 1 out in that inning, but now they have a rally going with runners at first and second, and chance to turn the lineup over here with the 9 batter in Jordan Williams, and that top of the order has been very productive for Louisville in this series.
Jessica Allister is out of the Stanford dugout and making a change. So Prostyko is coming out, and Stanford will go to a third pitcher, or will they? In fact, Stanford will bring back Anna Brewer. So we'll see a return of the starter Brewer, who was so effective for 4 innings. A lot has happened in this last inning and a half after things were relatively quiet the first 4 frames. It's a 7-3 Stanford lead in the 6th. Got started in the 3rd. The Cardinal put 3 runs on the board. Addison Shepard, the freshman, with a 2-run single, followed by Kira Chan knocking home Shepard to make it 3-zip. Stanford added on a Taryn Kern homer in the top of the 5th, but Louisville found their footing. Bree Despines, a 2-out, 2-run double to get the Cardinals on the board in the home half of the 5th inning. Cameron Luckadoo up the middle made it 4-3. Then, though, what might be the backbreaker, Stanford with 3 more runs in the bottom of the 5th, and Louisville some self-imposed harm.
Completely falls apart on defense. It's a huge inning for Stanford, mainly due to their heads-up base running as they extend the lead. And now you're going to take a look at the freshman. Anna Brewer is going to re-enter, was very impactful early in this game, and she's going to go back to those down pitches. Zoe Prostyko just really having control issues, having to bring the ball too much over the plate. They're going to go back to the freshman, see if they can roll a few more ground balls as we get to the near the top of the order with a 9 batter.
Jordan Williams in the 9 spot for Louisville has grounded out and singled. Hard hit to short, handled by Mailer. There's 1. That's all they'll get. But a fielder's choice, handled cleanly and thrown cleanly by the taped up fingers of Mailer at short. 2 down.
And that's exactly what you want if you're a Stanford fan. Anna Brewer comes in, and what does she do? Goes to that drop ball, is able to get Williams on top of the ball, roll a ground ball, get to 2 outs.
Top of the order, Easton Lotus. She is 0 for 3. Inside 2-0. Lotus has twice grounded out to second, and her last time popped up to short. Odell at third, Williams at first. Potential tying run still in the on-deck circle. Really, Louisville just wants to find a way to pass the bat as far as Despines, who's in the hole. And time called by Kern, the first baseman, who calls everybody into the circle.
Oh, really taking charge here. You've got speed at the corners, you've got speed at the plate, and fortunately for Stanford, you have 2 outs, so you can change your defense a little bit, really play the batter. You really just need to get the batter out for the 3rd inning. But if Louisville puts the runner in motion, which we anticipate here sooner than later, that's what Louisville likes to do, is put runners in motion. They want to make sure they have their coverage squared away.
cool moment of senior leadership, too, from Kern. She's got a freshman pitcher in Brewer, a freshman catcher in Kakatian. Maybe they're a little nervous to look over at their dugout and say, wait, what play are we in again? Taryn Kern, a senior, is not. She said, what are we doing?
Making sure everybody's on the same page.
2-1 pitch. Lotus sprays it foul. Taryn Kern's got 5 extra base hits in the last 4 games. What are they going to do? Take her out of the lineup?
And she can play first base, second base, right field. She got a lot of options.
Down and away, full count. Chelsea Mack on deck. A walk would bring her up as the potential tying run. Through the middle, a base hit. Odell in to score. Williams stops at second, and Louisville will indeed bring the potential tying run to the plate. Back within 3 in the 6th.
Well, the second half of the game has been what the series has been. Just both teams trading punches offensively. A really good at-bat there from Easton Lotus. Worked the count full. Finally got a pitch she could drive right back up the middle for her first hit of the night.
Chop toward the middle, past Brewer, and it squirts into center. Williams coming home. The throw is offline, and she scores. Cardinals move up to second and third. The potential tying run is in scoring position for Bree Despines, who has been the hottest bat for Louisville all season. This was Friday night in the series opener. Despines went deep off Bristico and gave Louisville the jolt they needed to win game 1.
Well, if you're Louisville right now, you couldn't draw up a better situation. And if you're Stanford with that base open, I would be very careful what you do with Bree Despines. Sure, the hitter on deck, Luckadoo, does have a home run on the season, but Bree Despines is the one that is consistently proven that she can hit with power.
The third different person to call timeout in this inning for Stanford. It's the pitching coach, Danielle O'Toole-Trejo. 2-run game. Stanford trying to make it a second opening weekend series win in as many years in the ACC. And look at that for Louisville. First ranked series win since they beat third-ranked FSU back in 2019.
We talked about it a little earlier. Winning the series in a conference series, if you can do that more times than not, it really positions yourself for strong postseason opportunities.
And after a stall mound visit, Stanford now is going to make the pitching change. Brewer comes back out, 2 in scoring position in a 2-run game. Alyssa Houston takes over in the circle for Stanford. Doesn't seem like a move that you make, Carol, to issue an intentional walk. So evidently Stanford is going to at least throw something to Bree Despines in this situation.
Yeah, I just want to give Bree Despines a different look, and we have not seen Houston yet in this game. This is the third Stanford Cardinal pitcher, the fourth pitching change, but Houston, she's been in the game for 2 innings pitched, or I'm sorry, in the series for 2 innings pitched, but has had some control issues, no strikeouts. That is not typical for Houston. She is more of a strikeout pitcher because of her speed and her movement. She's had 4 walks. So Stanford showing a lot of confidence here in bringing in Houston in this situation. But you're absolutely right, Nate. It's just to give Despines a different look. And again, with the base open, now think about your base runners out there for Louisville as well. That's their 2 fastest base runners. Chelsea Mack at second base, one of the best base runners in the country, best stealers. There's no stop sign right now for Holly April if this ball gets past the infield at all.
Houston against Despines. Ball 1. Despines had a 2-run double with 2 outs in the 5th inning to open the scoring for Louisville. She has 4 hits in this series and has been walked 4 times. 2-0, and that's been a theme for Houston. You mentioned it. The first 2 weekends of the season, she had 4 walks put together. Her last 2 outings, 4 walks apiece. 4 against Boise State and then 4 against Louisville earlier this weekend. To second base, glove by Shepard, and Stanford gets out of it. Alyssa Houston, after falling behind 2-0, gets Despines to leave 2 Cardinals in scoring position. It was kind of a quiet game early on, Carol Bruggeman. We were wondering where the fireworks had gone for the first 2 games in the series. They've showed up these last couple of innings. We had 3 combined runs the first 4 innings. We've had 9 in the last 2 frames. And number 13, Stanford, on top by 2, heading to the 7th inning of this rubber match.
Kind of been a tale of 2 games. As you mentioned, the first part of the game very much pitching and defense oriented, which is not really what you would say the true strengths of these teams are. It's definitely their offense. We have seen that on track here in the second half of this game.
Ball 1 from Alyssa Zabala to Kira Chan, who has walked, driven in a run with a single, and flied to right. Now Louisville needs a shutdown inning from Zabala to give the middle of the order, 4, 5, and 6, scheduled in the bottom of the 7th, a chance, facing a 2-run deficit after Bree Despines grounded out to second base to leave 2 Cardinals in scoring position. Hard hit to short, past a diving Monroe. It's a leadoff base hit for Chan. 3rd time she's been aboard tonight, her 2nd single.
Such a smooth hitter. There's no wasted motion in her swing. She recognizes the pitch is on the outer half, keeps her hands back, drives her barrel to the opposite field, doesn't try to do too much with it. But this is why Kira Chan is such a tough out. She can hit the ball all over the field, hit for power, and hit for average, as we've seen there.
Bunt by River Mailer to Janda at 3rd. Throws to the second baseman, Lotus covering. And there's 1 away. Was wondering what River Mailer might look like in her first at bat with the taped up fingers on that bottom hand, but we didn't get a chance to find out. She squared around to the first pitch.
Well, and remember, she came out of the game after the injury, so she's already been out of the game. So if they would have pinch hit for her in this situation, she wouldn't have been able to go out and play shortstop in the bottom half here of the 7th. So it's just another opportunity to lead for River Mailer. Okay, maybe I can't swing all that well right now, but I'm staying in this game, and I'm still going to have a productive out for our team and move a runner into scoring position.
Joey Economides re-enters for Stanford and takes a strike. You know, it's great to see how much Jessica Allister uses her bench, gets everybody involved, tries to maximize the strength of every player on her roster. The one potential downside of that is if you get into the 7th inning, let alone extra innings, in some cases, a lot of bodies have been burned on that bench.
Yeah, and you never know when the inning is, Nate, that's going to be the inning. You know, you've got to do the best you can. It might be the 2nd inning that ends up being the one that helps you put you in a position to win the game. But, you know, you have to keep track of that. You've got to use the players to the best of your ability when you can. And then, you know, when push comes to shove, you got to go to war with what you got at the end of the game. And it's time for people to step up and do what they can do. And we've seen it work beautifully tonight so far for Stanford.
2-2 on Economides.
And Stanford's such a versatile team. And we talked about Taryn Kern earlier. She's their leadoff hitter and hits with tremendous power, but she also can play first as she is tonight. She used to play second base earlier in her career. She's played a right field before. Sydney Boulafen is the starting left fielder, but she's really a transplant infielder. You know, that's just the type of athletes that Stanford recruits, being able to play all over the field.
Strike 3 called on Economides. Zabala gets the K.
Well, big out for Zabala, and this is where she has improved so much over her career. Used to be a pitcher up in the zone, curveball, rise ball, curveball combination. Now she can throw that ball down in the zone, little drop ball there for the strikeout. Just really has expanded her game.
Sydney Bolifin, the sophomore. Only got 13 starts last year as a freshman, but made the most of her opportunities. She hit 6 home runs in just 49 at-bats last season. Foul down the left side, 1-1, including a walk-off shot in her first collegiate at-bat last February against Fresno State. Now, it was a run rule walk-off, but all the same, tough to imagine too many better first collegiate at-bats than sending one out and getting to celebrate a win when you get back to home plate. She's looking for insurance here. Chan at second, 2 out. And Bolifin clipped by the pitch. That got her in toward the rib cage. 2 on and 2 out. And Kakadian will bat.
Well, the way Louisville has scored runs in this series, there's nothing more that Stanford would like to do than get an insurance run here in this situation with a runner in scoring position.
Zabala comes back to Kakatian. Swing and a miss. Kakatian has popped up and reached under fielder's choice, officially 0 for 2. Again, Louisville in the bottom of this 7th inning, scheduled to have Luckadoo, Monroe, and Pickens, their 4, 5, and 6 hitters. One. If they can get some runners on base, though, the Cardinals, the bottom third of that order has been pretty good in creating offense for them tonight. Still have to get out of this inning, though, without Stanford adding on. The Cardinals have led the whole way since their 3 runs back in the 3rd. Zabala's 2-2. Fisted down the left field line, a fair ball. Chan will score. An RBI double for Izzy Kakatian, and Stanford with another insurance run.
Quality at bat from Kakatian, the number 8 hitter in the lineup. Gets a pitch on the inner half of the plate, keeps her hands inside, and look at that bat speed. She's able to get around the ball. It finds one of the deeper part of the ballparks there down the line, and that is another 2-out RBI from Stanford tonight.
Really, for both teams, it's been all about the 2-out execution offensively, and Stanford's just gotten a little bit more of it than Louisville.
Half of their runs there with the 2-out RBI, and that's just meeting the moment. I mean, there's a lot of moments in the game. We talked about it a little earlier. Could come in the 2nd inning, 5th inning, now here in the 7th. But being able to rise to the occasion, get runners on base, finding ways to really zone in on that at-bat, and we've seen that happen with Stanford tonight as they've been able to execute through the lineup with 2 outs.
Just foul up first. Now, you mentioned it, seizing your moment, when we were talking about Coach Allister's substitution patterns. And to be fair to her, she emptied a lot of that bench, certainly as far as pinch runners are concerned, in the 6th inning, and it paid off. Think about the aggressive base running from Stanford, saving an extra run or 2, and that could be pivotal in this game.
Yeah, and by taking those extra bases, they forced Louisville to throw the ball. They were not able to execute, threw it away a few times, and that created even more offense, more opportunities to advance. And you just never know when your number's called, and every game it could change. You know, you might be called upon to be a pinch hitter, and then the next game a pinch runner, and then go out and play defense. And that's why it's so good not to get locked into one position when you're a young player.
Jones off the end of the bat. Long run for Pickens. Can't get there. Foul ball.
Being able to learn different positions on the field and be able to play different positions on the field, because at the end of the day, you want to be on the field. And sometimes if you're competing at a position with, you know, one of the most seasoned veterans on the team, or they've played at a high level, well, you want to get on the field with that player. So sometimes you have to learn new positions. Cameron Luckadoo over there at first base is one of those. Never played first base until this season, but it helps the Louisville team if she learns that position. She's done it well.
And from Stanford's standpoint, especially when you have such depth, such talent on a team, the way the Cardinal do now every year, I would think it does so much for the level of engagement of the entire roster in practice, in workouts, in meetings, that every kid knows they have a chance to get into every game. Jones working a good at bat, 2-2. To left field, Pickens, happy feet, but she gets there toward the foul pole, and she will be due up third in the bottom of the 7th. Louisville trying to come back one last time, down by 3. 4, 5, and 6 rather scheduled for Louisville in the bottom of the 7th inning, trailing by 3. Stanford has continually added on with insurance in this 5th, 6th, 7th inning, and that could be very important for the Cardinal because Louisville has picked up 3 runs in the 5th, 2 more in the 6th, and the job falls to Alyssa Houston to try to finish this Stanford victory and series win on the opening weekend of ACC play. She got the critical ground out from Bree Despines to leave 2 Cardinals in scoring position in the 6th. How do you see her role, Carol, with this Stanford pitching staff?
When you take a really good look at the Stanford pitching staff, I feel like you are looking at the X factor. Alyssa Houston really has elite stuff. She has great movement. She has great velocity. I mean, she can get it done at a high level. She's just been a little inconsistent so far this season for Stanford, mainly with the free passes. And so if she can really get on her game and be consistent, you've got Pristyko who's pitching at a high level. We've seen what Anna Brewer, the freshman, can do. And so it's, I really feel like this young lady can her performance can go a long way in a solid ACC and postseason run for Stanford.
First pitch strike on Cameron Luckadoo. Pair of ground outs and an RBI single for Luckadoo tonight. Anyway, on base will work for Louisville here. Is there any particular coaching message that you liked in this kind of situation when it's do or die?
On the offensive side of the ball, I mean, it's past the bat. You know, find a way to get on base. You can't lead off the inning with a 3-run home run. So, you know, you just got to be able to get on base. You know, fight. These are the moments you live for. You just want to compete. And we've seen Louisville do that, you know, all season long. This is not a team that's going to concede or just say, all right, let's get the next one. I mean, they really believe they can come back and win this game. We've seen them score in bunches. They've scored 5 runs in the last 2 innings. This is an offense that can create some havoc when they get on the bases.
Obviously, I imagine Holly April would say Louisville's not in the business of moral victories, but even if the Cardinals don't come back in this game, I would think they have shown themselves and their head coach something this weekend with the way they've gone toe-to-toe against one of the better teams in the league.
Well, there was a few question marks for Louisville coming into this series. Yes, they had a lot of wins, but their strength of schedule was very different than Stanford.
Luckadoo gets it past Chan, who dove for it awkwardly, and Luckadoo's into second with a leadoff double to try to ignite Louisville in the 7th.
Yeah, not sure what Chan was thinking here. If you're going to leave your feet, you're going for the catch. But once you didn't leave your feet, she kind of left her feet with a bad timing. Look, take a look at how she does that. She should have pulled up on this ball, keep the ball in front, concede the single, and instead Louisville's got a runner in scoring position.
Ground ball up the middle, base hit, Monroe. Luckadoo waved home. Throw is cut off. RBI single for Taylor Monroe. And just like that, Louisville brings the potential tying run to the plate with nobody out.
This is a team that believes. They score in bunches. Taylor Monroe takes her first offering. This is a rise ball that does not rise. And credit Louisville tonight, when Stanford has missed their pitches over the heart of the plate, they have attacked. They have not been caught off guard, and another RBI for Louisville.
Ball one to Madison Pickens, who has been hit by a pitch and grounded out twice. She's off to a red-hot start to her sophomore campaign. .415 average, OPS over 1,200. Hit a couple of home runs.
Well, if you're Stanford, you want Houston to be able to step up in this situation, create some outs, stop the momentum. But remember, when you look at the bullpen now for Stanford, for Steico, out of the game. She's already come in relief and been taken out.
Left center is slicing away from Jones. It's in the gap. Extra bases for Pickens. Monroe waved home. Louisville trails by one. Madison Pickens with an RBI double. She's the potential tying run in scoring position. Still nobody out.
Talk about stepping up in the moment. Again, this pitch too much over the heart of the plate from Houston. And Louisville is not missing the ball. They are barreling it up when it has been left over the heart of the plate. But those are back-to-back at-bats that Alyssa Houston has thrown the ball too much over the heart of the plate. And credit to Louisville with the extra base hits. They're right back in this ball game, just one run from tying it up, and we're going to see another Stanford pitcher here in Elena Krause.
You mentioned it. The Cardinal cannot use Pristaico. She has entered the game and come out. They cannot use Brewer because she re-entered the game and came out. And now Houston is burned, so they're working awfully far down that pitching staff depth chart, and it's the freshman Elena Krause who is called upon for an awfully difficult save, with Stanford clinging to a one-run lead and the potential tying run already in scoring position.
Yeah, the freshman coming in a big moment here. And this game has not disappointed. This is what we expected, this back and forth battle. But now the mentality changes for Stanford. They go to, all right, we got a 3-run lead in the 7th. We need to create some outs. It goes to now, hey, this is game over if Louisville gets 2 more runs. So it's more about game management, and they're calling on a freshman to step up big in the moment and hold this 1-run lead.
Krause pitched Friday in the opener in this series. She gave up 4 runs, all earned, over 1 inning of work. She walked 3 batters and conceded a homer. Stanford this year 8-0 when leading after 6 innings, but 2 of the 3-run lead already vanished.
Now they really need to trust Krause here. She's going to have to go the rest of the way. Only 1 more pitcher left over there in the bullpen, and that's Boulanti, and she's only pitched 2.1 innings this season. So they're going to put the ball in the hands of this freshman here and try and shut down this Louisville offense that just scores in bunches. They pass the bat. They are a very confident hitting team.
Stanford's coaching staff is excited about Elena Krause. Associate head coach Jessica Merchant told us her upside is tremendous. But I don't know when she said that she imagined Krause would be walking into this kind of situation in a rubber match on Sunday night. We've been playing for more than 2 hours and 40 minutes tonight on a cold Sunday in Louisville. Riley Janda in the box. And it's to the screen. A wild pitch moves Pickens to third. Louisville 60 feet from tying the game. And Janda at the plate represents the potential winning run. Janda has come up twice tonight, both strikeouts. 2-0. .229 hitter for the year. She has homered twice. You can almost hear Elena Krause's heartbeat from here. Ball 4.
Well, it's a cold evening, as you mentioned, Nate. I mean, Stanford got to the ballpark probably 5 hours ago when you first start warming up, and now in the biggest moment here, you have to be able to perform if you're Elena Krause, and she has not come close to making a competitive pitch yet. And Louisville's just feeling that confidence, feeling that momentum.
Strike one to Katie Thatcher. Thatcher has come up twice in the game, hit by a pitch in the 5th, singled in the 6th. Louisville was scoreless in the first 4 innings tonight. 3 runs in the 5th, 2 runs in the 6th, 2 here in the 7th. Pickens the potential tying run at third. Janda on the move from first. She is into second base. The Cardinals have 2 in scoring position. A Thatcher base hit could win it.
Well, this is vintage Louisville, staying aggressive, putting runners in motion. Not even close, and that is the game winner now you're looking at here in the bottom of the 7th for Louisville.
High ball 3. Krause has thrown 8 pitches, just 1 in the strike zone. The 4th pitcher for Stanford tonight, a freshman. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks to Janda and Thatcher. And it brings up the number 9 batter, Jordan Williams.
You could just feel the excitement in the dugout for Louisville as Danielle comes out to talk to the pitchers, Danielle O'Toole, Trejo, to talk to Krause, just try to settle her freshman down, get her defense focused. Hey, look, there's no decisions anymore. Ground ball, we're going to go home. Like, bases are loaded unless it's some sort of hard shot where they can turn 2. But you're thinking, cut that runner down at the plate. If you're an outfielder, you know everything's going to the plate. This is the situation where it's all in if you're Stanford defense. Because right now, all the momentum on the side of Louisville.
Have to go back to April 2019, nearly 7 years ago. The last time Louisville won a series against a ranked opponent, it was number 3 Florida State, and Stanford just did the same double mound visit to make a final pitching change.
Well, there's only one pitcher left in that dugout, and that is the aforementioned Ava Bulanti. She's only pitched 2 innings so far in this season, but Jess Allister not liking what she has seen from the relief pitchers with Houston. Just Houston too much over the plate and got hit very hard, and then bringing in Krause and the free passes. Again, just not competitive pitches when the offensive hitter doesn't have to make a tough decision. Geez, do I swing or do I not? When it's not even close to the plate. That's what Jess Allister's seeing as well. So she's just going to bring in Boulanti here and give her a chance to work out of this inning. Talk about a big moment for someone who, and now this is the last option. I mean, this is what Stanford's doing the rest of the way here because they are out of the other 4 pitchers are all burned in this game. Either they've come in relief and come out, or the starter has been in twice. So this is it for Stanford.
Boulanti has not pitched since February 12th against Kentucky. In that game, she allowed 5 runs on 5 hits in 1/3 of an inning. She comes in with a game in her right hand. What could Jessica Allister possibly have said to her to try to prepare her for this moment?
I would think she would say compete. Get out there and compete. Let your defense work. We need you to compete right now. Throw some competitive pitches.
Pickens the potential tying run at 3rd. Janda the potential winning run at 2nd. Nobody out. Jordan Williams waits. Pitches a strike over the outside, but there was a pitch clock violation. So it's ball 1. Boulanti understandably wanted to take a moment. She took too many moments.
Yeah, threw a strike, but then it becomes a ball because of the timing violation.
Ground ball to first. It's bobbled. The game is tied. Throw behind. Janda at 3rd. She's back to the bag. Williams puts it in play. Pickens comes in to score. It's 8-8 in the 7th.
Well, Boulanti gets the ground ball here, and Kern makes a nice play to her backhand, but comes up to throw too soon. And that's what happens. Does not secure the ball first. That's what happens when you add a little pressure, knowing you have to throw the ball home to prevent the game from being tied.
Ava Boulanti, to her credit, has come out throwing strikes. Top of the order, Easton Lotus, in her 5th year as a Cardinal. With the bases loaded. Lotus softly to the right side. Throw home. Not in time. Louisville walks it off. For the first time in 7 years, the Cardinals have taken a series from a ranked opponent. Stanford is challenging. The call was that the catcher Kakatian did not have her foot on home plate. There will be a review. You're going to get a look at what the umpires are seeing.
Remember, it is a force out, so Kakatian just needs her foot on the base at the time she catches the ball, so it's really a timing play. So you're looking, does the hand get in before the ball is in the web of the glove?
Alex Leet, the home plate umpire, though, signals here at the end, not only safe, but pointing down to say Kakatian's foot was off the plate, and it looks like that was the case.
And there you get a much better look. But, you know, this angle's fantastic from our crew. That foot is indeed off the base, so now the timing becomes irrelevant because she's not on the base. What a comeback win here for Louisville.
2 hours and 50 minutes of temperatures in the 40s tonight in Louisville. The Cardinals trailed by 4 runs. They had been shut out the first 4 innings. They put up 3 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 4 in the 7th. And they are moments from finding out if they have just walked off on number 13 Stanford to win the series. Cardinals chaos tonight in the Derby City. For the first time since beating Florida State in 2019, Louisville has taken a series from a ranked opponent, and they do it over Stanford in walk-off style.
What a win for Louisville, showing they never gave up. They kept battling. They passed the bat through the lineup. What a victory tonight for Louisville, and a series win for them to propel them into their next series.
A wacky last few innings in a wacky series, Carol. It's fitting that the game would end this way.
Oh, there's no other way. Louisville putting the pressure on. The ball doesn't leave the infield, but they find a way to score thanks to Kakakian being off the base. Vintage Louisville using their speed, making things happen. What a come-from-behind victory for the Cardinals.
A long night for the Cardinals. They never quit, and they get their reward. Louisville wins Friday. Louisville wins Sunday in dramatic fashion, and they win the series over Stanford. That'll do it for us tonight from Louisville. For analyst Carol Bruckham and our entire ESPN production crew, Nate Gatter saying so long for the Derby City. Our final score, Louisville 9, Stanford 8.